Okay, we are live. All right, wait for some people to come on. See, hopefully they got notifications. All right, there's three so far. We got three. I usually start with zero. uh, all right. How's everybody doing? Today got a special show. Got a special guest on my show. His name's Coen Naninck, and he's been on YouTube for quite some time. And in fact, when I started watching YouTube, he kind of was inspirational in me doing videos and talking about relationships with Black women. And all you guys know that I'm married to a Black woman, and we've been married for over 27 years. Got married back in May of 1994. And I like to share my, my life and my experiences. And, and that's why I created this channel. And I like to express how much love I do have for Black women. And, you all know my preference is Black women. I do like all women, so don't get that wrong. It's just we all have a preference, right? And being married to a Black woman over 27 years makes sense, right? But anyway, that's just the short about me. You guys have seen me for a while, and I'll let Mr. Cohen here introduce himself, and we're going to have a nice little chat back and forth about interracial relationships. He lives over in Europe, in Holland. Is that right, Cohen? And yeah, and I live in the United States. I live in New Mexico, in the southwest part of the United States. And it's like the fifth largest state, but one of the smallest populations. But I love it here. And, so there's a little bit of different culture going on in dating interracially when it comes to the United States and Europe. I don't know how it is in Europe. I haven't dated nobody in Europe, but I'm sure there's some similarities and some differences. And, I always like to promote interracial relationships. I think it's good as long as you love each other enough to be in that relationship and you're strong enough. But anyway, that's just that in a nutshell. But I'll go ahead and let Cohen introduce himself, and then I'll have the ladies give a short introduction to themselves, and we'll start with the discussion. So, Cohen, go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, my name is Coen Naninck. I'm. Oh wow, full screen.
Yeah.
So, by the way, do you want me to promote? Do you want me to plug this live stream on my community page, because that way more people can come in? So I can do that right now.
Sure, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Can you send me the link to private chat or email? Or?
I can email. Let's see here. Let me. I think.
I should have asked you this.
I could email it, or I could put it in the comment section.
Well, I'll email it to me, please.
I'll email.
Okay. Oh, you got it, Becca?
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to email it to you.
All right, cool. So I'm Cohen. I'm from Holland. I'm 49 years old. That sounds like a lot. Plus fat. I've been a YouTuber since November 8, 2012, really. I started with a channel called Curvy Shrine, and then later I had this channel that I make for Black women, basically no Black women videos on. I had it since 2010, I think, but I didn't use it. But then I started uploading videos about Black women. Actually, I started the videos about Black women on Curvy Shrine, but it really needed its own channel. So, and the first upload there was on, I believe it was December 23rd or December 26th, 2016. And that was a video titled 8 Things White Guys Love About Black Women. which went viral, and then the rest just kind of fell naturally into place. I haven't always talked about Black women, as I think I said just now, but I have always admired Black women. It became more serious when I started dating, or actually a year after I started dating. That's when I had my first date with a Black woman. Yeah, I also have a website that complements the channel, but I'm going to give that up next year because I don't really use it. So the videos that I make is I basically have two or three areas I talk about. Well, I would say first and foremost, I just talk about the beauty of Black women. I do that in a kind of sometimes holistic kind of way, I guess. I have a condition called low latent inhibition, and that basically means, in short, that whereas most people process information once about an object or a person they see or something, I keep doing it. So I keep seeing new details, and that's also that quote unquote disability is what I use to make my videos. So I notice a lot of details, and I put that in my videos. Now, the purpose of my videos is that I basically counter what is being said in the media. So the media kind of has that negative image about Black women. It's not always negative, but it's negative quite a lot of the times, and also sexualized image. And I try to take that and basically, actually, I don't take that message specifically, but I show how I see Black women from my perspective. But then I don't only do that, I also say, like, well, don't take my word for it, but this is why I find you guys beautiful, and what I find beautiful, why I find beautiful. And then I hope that Black women internalize that, and instead of using me to say, oh, well, he finds this beautiful, they can actually internalize that and say, well, I can see what he's saying. And for example, to give you a small example, if I say, your hair is beautiful, whereas they always say, or a lot of say that bad hair, type 4 hair is bad hair, quote unquote. I say, well, if you look at the spiraling, that's the same kind of spiraling that happens in the universe. A lot of things are round and curvy trajectories and stuff like that. So that's the way that I do that. So that's one area. And then the other area I talk about is dating. I don't really talk about relationships, but I do sometimes talk about it. And what's the other thing? Yeah, so beauty, dating, and yeah, I've done some reaction videos, but it's not really a serious kind of thing. I do live streams, and I keep thinking there's one more other thing that I do, and I can't come up with it right now. But if you go to my playlist sections, there you basically can see. Oh yeah, bedroom topics. That's what I talk about. But that's kind of like dating too. So I would say those three areas: beauty, dating, and the bedroom topics. I don't really do too much bedroom topic videos, but that's mostly because I know that Black women are already sexualized in culture and media, and I don't want to feed into that. But then again, when I talk about it, I want to do it in a way that is not hypersexual or hypersexualized. It's just from different angles and different perspective. Well, I mean, they're my perspectives, but they're different perspectives. I always try to do a little twist, like different moves and stuff, and instead of just about positions, for example. So those would be the areas that I do, and then I have the other channel where I talk specifically about womanly curves, as I always say, and I also feature Black women on that channel. But yeah, that's in a nutshell what I do. It's not what I've always done. It started actually for both channels. It started as a hobby, but it became my work as more people just kept asking me, like, can you please make more content? And then one day I just decided to make the switch, and yeah, that's how it goes. So.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Cohen's got a lot of videos. I watched a lot of his videos, and I know a lot of people that follow this channel have watched your channel, Cohen, and you know, ladies. I mean, some of the stuff he talks about. I've listened to it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's right about that. When you talk about staring, white men staring at black women, and sometimes black women take it weird, or and how we're kind of, as white guys, we're kind of reserved, and we're kind of maybe not as aggressive like black men would be. And on that one video, you hit it right on the hit it right on the head, and I was like, wow, you know what? And I see that just in my life. I mean, over here in the United States, with white men that are interested in black women, they kind of cautious. And that's just interesting that even in Europe, they're like, we're kind of similar in that way. But but check out his channel, check out his videos. And and I'm glad to have you on, Cohen. It's really a true honor. And it's a real honor. It really is, sir. And I'm glad you came on. And some of the ladies wanted me to reach out to you, and I know they enjoy having you on and stuff, and I do too, and it's awesome. And ladies, go ahead and have you introduce yourselves. Take a little bit. We'll start with Becca, and then April, and then we'll get started with our discussion.
Hi, everybody. I'm Becca. Becca is my stage name. Don't look for it. I am a filmmaker and screenwriter here in the DC area. I'm currently trying to sell my script. I recently just started filming a couple of episodes, and I'm 30. I'm under 20. I'm still in my 20s. I am a tourist, and I've been in. I guess I've had sweethearts from everybody, all types of men. I was raised multiculturally, so I really never really understood uh, the stigma around it. I mean, my mother was a dude, so and she spoke Italian before she married Ed, so it was never like a thing for me. And
Becca, I didn't mean to interrupt you talking, but the chat says you're breaking up. The chat says you're breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of. I can hear you, but it's kind of.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, your audio was a little off. Sorry.
Oh, I'm far away from my iPad. Sorry. Well, let's see. I'm a filmmaker here in the DMV area, and let's see. I'm just not used to this whole stigma around interracial dating, so I never really understood why people have a problem with it. I mean, my mother interracially dated, so I was kind of raised like black women can date anybody and be happy. So, so in my own personal dating life, I've dated, men of all races, and it's never been a problem for me. Even when I was overweight, I've never had like problems with men of other races. Men are men; they all give you the same problems. So, sorry about the echo. I don't know what's going on, but I probably will switch to my phone later. So, like I just said, I'm a filmmaker and writer here in the DMV. And in the DMV area, actually, we do have quite a lot of Black women with like non-Black men of all forms. So it's kind of common in my area, but just kind of seeing how people respond to them, in the YouTube universe and around the country, it was shocking to me that, oh, you have a problem with this. So that's all I'm going to say for right now, because I'm going to switch to another device.
Okay. All righty. Let me get back here. And April, you ready to go? I had a super chat up here. asking if we could, why don't we discuss the different types of Black women? Melody Hudson, married to George Lucas. Black Sinna, I don't know who that is, married to
Black China.
Black China, married and
Rob
divorced.
Kardashian. Or
Yeah, maybe you ladies can talk about. I know George Lucas is married to a Black woman, and I know, but the other one, I don't really follow the Kardashians, so I'm lost in the sauce when it comes to that stuff. But I don't know. Maybe we'll start with that, and Sue, dude, thank you for that. And I'll let the ladies talk about that. I don't follow that stuff, but anyway,
It's
April?
class differences.
I like to give everybody
it's class
a chance,
differences.
but I do.
It's class differences. I mean, Melody Hobson, who was married to George Lucas, she was on NBC as a financial analyst. And when you look at, I forgot her name, but
Hey, Becca. Hey, let's let April introduce herself real quick, and we'll get into that.
Sorry. April.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead, April.
My name is April Rain, and I live on the East Coast sector of America. I'm 40. I'm an interpreter for the deaf and hard of hearing. I do community interpreting in the area of mental and behavioral health. And I'm also an abstract artist. I teach chromotherapy, which is a form of color-based therapy to different members in the communities. And so, yeah, I paint in my spare time. So, yeah, I'm well diversified. I like all men. So I'm just looking forward to this live and absorbing new information and interacting with everyone on the panel as well as in the chat. So thank you, Brent, for having me. And I look forward to hearing this lively conversation.
Okay, and it's good to see you again, April. And sorry about that, Becca. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and hit where you were talking about before.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, like, the difference between the two couples is just class and education. Black China is a scripper, and Melody Hobson is a financial analyst. I mean, that's two different worlds. I mean, and it kind of, while we're having these conversations about Black women, a lot of Black women who have a lot of education, and it makes a big difference on who they're dating. Matt Stone, so the co-creator of South Park, his wife is Black as well. She's of a certain type. And I agree with you, Jersey, that Rob Kardashian is just a sucker. And he is. I mean, he has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. So you can't really compare those two couples because it's a class difference. And as much as we don't like to say it, there is a certain type of Black woman who attract a certain type of non-Black men. I've said this before. If you want to attract a certain Asian man, you can't be a hypersexualized woman because that's just not what's acceptable in that culture. And especially in certain, I can't say for all European cultures, but certainly some of them are definitely going to look at that hypersexualized American image and kind of give it the side eye. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Coen, do you follow the Kardashians or any of that stuff? I don't. I mean, I see maybe a little on YouTube, but I don't know. I'm so busy working, and then I come home, do YouTube every now and then, and I do my yard work and try to spend time with my wife. So I'm so busy, I don't even really watch much TV. I don't, and so thank you, Becca, for explaining that. I knew about George Lucas, married to a Black woman, and you're right with the culture thing when you're dating out. Asians have a different culture than, of course, Europeans or American white guys. And, for white men, I don't know how it is in Europe, but in America, we're kind of a different animal when it comes to men in different states, or even different towns. I know my family, we're just so different. I got family in Arizona, California, Georgia, and we're all kind of different, in a way. But anyway, and what I wanted to talk with Cohen a little bit about is dating, when it kind of comparing how it is from America and Europe. Like I said, I've never dated no one in Europe. I've been to Europe, not for real long periods of time. I've been to England, Germany. Spent some time in Germany when I was in the Army. Never stationed there, but I've been through there. Spent a brief time in Ireland, but I really haven't seen Europe. And I'd like to go and take a trip sometime and see all the countries, But anyway, but dating in the United States, I'm sure it's kind of similar, kind of different. And Cohen, when we date here, we got different peoples that some date like kind of, just kind of like dating, getting to know people. And then you got more traditional where we date to get married. And, when approaching Black women, a lot of times Black women think that white guys aren't interested in them. And a lot of times us white guys think that too. And I think that's why we don't get together as much. And when we do, I think white men that are interested in Black women a lot of times end up marrying them. They fall in love hard with Black women. And I know I have ever since I was 15, and that was back in 86. So that's where my dating, I'm in my 50s now, I'm up there, but, I've always had love for Black women, and I've always had, that's always been my preference. Do I find other women attractive? Of course I do. But, I just felt comfortable with Black women. Always something about them, their spirituality, they have a big heart. If a Black woman loves you, you know it. And, I've had good experience. Not all Black women like white guys, and that's true. But, overall, I've had a very good experience. And me and my wife, we have a good marriage. And I have 3 kids now. They're grown up. My oldest daughter's married, has her own family, and I have a granddaughter. My son's in the Army. He's in the 82nd Airborne in Fort Bragg. And then my youngest daughter's going to the University of New Mexico. So my kids are older. Now we're looking at grandkids, me and my wife. And it's been great. But, dating Black women, I found that a lot of times we don't do it, or we hesitate because we struggle with getting out of our comfort zone, you might say. Me, it hasn't been like that so much because I went for them from the get-go. But, but anyway, I'm getting too far into my life story here. But, a lot of Black women and white men, or men of different races, will get together. And a lot of times they're more interested in each other than we find out, than we even think. And I don't know, is it that way in Europe, Cohen? I mean, when you date women, and I guess, I've only dated Black women, American Black women. Well, I dated this one lady that was from Trinidad. I guess that's for a little bit. That's the furthest I got from outside the United States. But, Cohen, what would you say about dating, over in Europe, what it's like? And do you get a lot of people like where you're at from I don't know, Africa or like say in the Caribbean and places like that?
Well, yeah, we have. It's really multicultural, or some cities here are metropolises or metropole. I don't know the plural of metropolis, but Rotterdam, Amsterdam, especially. But nowadays, also other cities like Utrecht, they have a lot of different nationalities. So we have black women from, well, former Dutch colonies. So like Aruba. I actually don't know if the ones that I'm mentioning now are former Dutch colonies, but some of them are. So you have Aruba, you have Saint Martin, Suriname, uh, some of these smaller islands, and then we have people from Africa like Nairobi, Kenya, Congo. A guy at my where I work out in the park, he's from Congo. Eritrea, um, South Africa, a lot of different countries. So, and yeah, I do notice that they all have their kind of like different kind of looks, the way they dress also. But with regards to interracial dating, it's definitely very accepted here. I see both black women with white men and with Asian men, and I see black men with white women and Asian women, and yeah, all kinds of different combinations. So I don't really believe in that. Like, I mean, I know that in the U.S., black women, there are some things that I mean, I acknowledge that are different than the women here in Europe, but I'm not really a, how do you say that, a proponent, or I don't really subscribe to the theory that women are like black women or white women for that matter, are vastly different in different continents. Uh, Something I get in my comments a lot is that, you can't compare American black women to African black women, and well, no one's comparing, but I mean, we're dealing with persons here, not with nationalities, and but they say like black women from Africa cannot be ratchet, for example, and but I mean, if you look at the U.S., at the demographic of black women in the U.S., I mean, you have places where there's higher paying jobs, and there's places where there's no jobs, and I think that does play into how people are raised, and how black women are raised, how white men are raised, and that in and of itself plays into how people respond to certain scenarios or events. And so I do acknowledge that that's kind of like the part that I acknowledge how black women may respond differently depending on maybe income levels, or because of access to I don't know, access to something. Um, let me give you an example. Um, well, usually it's access to employment, but that I already said that. So, but yeah, the interracial dating here is it's very accepted, especially where I live in Rotterdam. If you go downtown on a Saturday, you see a lot of interracial couples, and there is, if I mean, if I've done the videos with Linda, I haven't really been to any like commercial areas with her, but for example, she has a dog, and when we walk the dog out, you do see people looking. So, and I notice these things, but I can't notice what they're thinking. But the looks are there. Also, the discrimination is there. But I I don't really try to focus too much on a negative. I mean, I see it, but I don't want to focus on it too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, There was a question that I'm not trying to follow the chat precisely, but there was a question from someone who asked me, is it okay if I answer that, or do you want to take the
Yeah,
lead?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, by all means. Yes.
Because maybe it's better if you take the lead with regards to the questions, because then we're not gonna like double the questions or double answer the questions. But
Okay.
I'll just do this one.
Okay.
Um, let's see, where did I post? Just
Can
this
you
one.
remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I mean, if I could find it, I could highlight it.
Yeah,
He asked
I've
a
got a
question.
question here from Miss Know It All. That's her name. Have you ever been to the States, and what do you think of American Black women? So the answer is yes. I've been 25 times or 24. I'm not sure anymore. And I think American Black women are beautiful. It's obviously, you know, like for example, in Denver, yeah, lots of Black women there.
Oh, okay.
In New York City, lots of Black women there. Um, let's see. And there's one more question, or one question from Sun Goddess Ari. Let's see. I know you like curvy Black women, but would you get with a skinny one too, or be attracted to a skinny one? I would, and I actually, well, no, not with a skinny, but I have definitely been with a skinny white woman. Yeah, skinny. Um, but it's then my attraction would be more or less physical and more non-physical. And I've definitely been with women where the attraction was like super, what's called sapiosexual. So it's very much intelligence pull. And yeah, the funny thing is because I mean, everyone who knows me knows that I prefer plus size women, not necessarily plus size, just a little thick. That's my preferred body type. Like some women are attracted to tall men. I'm attracted to curvy women. So, but the last, like in the last, yeah, it's been in the last 3, 4, 5 years, especially the last 2 years, that I've started appreciating slender women more. But it has to do with my own personal development. I used to, or 5 years ago, I discovered this men's scene called NoFap and semen retention, and that just gave me so much different insights into spirituality. Also, I'm noticing the clicks again in my voice, so I'm going to get something to drink in a moment, but I'll do that after I end that thing. So I think that's all the questions that yeah.
You just had one pop up. Someone asked, do your white male friends also date Black women?
Does your friends or other Black men, or wait, is that the question, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, the question was, do your other white male friends that you hang with, do they also hang out or date Black women as well?
Well, I don't have a lot of friends anymore. I used to have more friends. Now I've also moved, so. But where I train at the calisthenics park, there are interracial couples there, and it's Black guys with white women, and it's some white guys with Black women. Let's see. So there's your friend or other white men. Yeah. So the answer is yes. Yes.
You mentioned you don't have as many friends now. Why is that?
Well, part of the reason is that I moved. So I've actually moved a couple of times. So I mean, when you move, your friends don't move with you. So that's something that yeah. I mean, everyone has that problem. But it's there are areas where like I'm not someone to really hang out with friends in a group. I'm more of like what the Germans call Einzelgänger, so I'm more on my own. I also don't really feel comfortable in spending with groups, so I'm not really a group person. I'm more of a, but I do have friends that I just like sometimes go downtown with or something, or that I meet, but it's more like one person. So, but definitely now a lot less friends than in the past. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now,
Can I get, okay. Go
go
ahead, Becca.
go on. I was just gonna say, well, Cohen, I had a question. You mentioned on your channel, and that's why I had asked you about joining the dating show about merging. Could you talk more about how you're feeling now? Because you kind of have a reputation of being kind of like the YouTube playboy. So can you talk more about what you feel as far as like merging in a relationship?
Okay, I'm just gonna get some water if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, well, go and get some water real quick. I just want to address one thing. When the ladies were asking, does his friends date black women? I just want to say this, and you know, sometimes us as guys, I think we're different than women. I've dated black women in the past, and I've never really tried to encourage other people to do it. I mean, I tell them how great it is, but I just don't. I think women more like to experience stuff together in like a group more than men, because men, we kind of just do what we want to do and do our own thing, and kind of, well, and maybe just because I'm an individual, I just did what, where my heart went, and you know but maybe I don't know his situation, but that's kind of my situation. I have had friends that are white that dated black women, and some that didn't, and I didn't really, I wasn't really concerned with that. I was just concerned with living my life, and I think that's why we don't have a lot of male channels when it comes to interracial dating, because they don't express themselves like women do. Because you have a lot of women channels that do that, talk about that, more of a collective. I think us as guys is more individualized. Um,
Now, can
I
I
don't
just say
know.
something about the chat real quick while
Yeah.
Cohen is up here? Everybody, we already know Ari is a minor. Okay, I'm a mod on here. I'm tired of Carol. Facts. We already knew she never asked a question that was inappropriate. She just asked a question that, quite frankly, about the body size that was not inappropriate for her age. Okay, it wasn't a
Okay.
dating.
Let's not fight on the chat. Okay.
Yeah, let's stop.
We'll have a show. We'll have a private show and discuss that.
We having a
How's
good.
that sound?
Welcome back, Colin. It's good to have you back. I believe, Becca,
All right,
you were
well,
asking Colin a question.
So yeah, can you talk more about the merging part of the relationship that you thought you wanted at this point in your life? I thought that was really interesting the way you put it, kind of like melting together.
Yeah, well, first I want to address something about the Playboy part. That's the first time I'm hearing this, so I don't really know people's view of me. I watch, sometimes I Google myself in YouTube, or I YouTube myself, so to speak, but not often. I kind of stay away because a lot of those comments are very negative, and I just don't want it to bother me. So, yeah, so merging. It's something that I've really only experienced once, and when I experienced it, I knew, okay, that's what they talk about in the articles, because I had heard of it, but it's basically where you can let down your guard and you can just be completely 100% with yourself with someone without being afraid of, becoming too needy or too clingy, or because both of you want each other as much as the other, basically. So there's no fear. There's no games. There's no also like the good kind of games, like no, I shouldn't say games though. Like, I mean, when you date someone that you don't want to be messaging them too often, like I do, I don't want to do that, but I also don't like it if a woman does that. Even if I like her like so much, if it becomes too much, then it's too much. But when you're merging with someone, all of that becomes insignificant because instead of it being a back and forth, it's more like a synchronicity. It just flows. And that's also when you just intuitively know when to message each other. You intuitively, or when to, you just do it. Everything is just has a flow to it. And also when you're talking, it's just like a very pleasant back and forth. And in the bedroom, it's just natural. Like, I mean, there's so many facets where you can talk about this flow or this. For me, it's really just having a connection with someone, but that's not the same as merging with. So like for me, merging is like you because like I said, I've only experienced this once, and when I experienced it, I got really scared at the same time. But when I felt in that quote unquote merger, it was very pleasant and it was very vulnerable. But it was new to me and it scared the s out of me. So I went from telling this lady that I wanted to be monogamous with her to, well, no, I don't want to be monogamous, and then back to monogamous again. And it drove her crazy. And it drove me crazy too, because I was just like, okay, what the F do I want, but that's been I believe I had to meet her to learn that. And then as I grieved from that experience, I concluded for myself, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And that's why I said, like, I would like to have that experience where I merge with a woman. But it doesn't, like, that's the thing. You can't do that with every woman. I mean, even if I meet someone that's physically a 10 and maybe non-physically a 10, it doesn't mean that connection's there to establish that merging kind of feeling. So, and you know what? I may just romanticize that whole world, that whole word. But I'm just telling you how it felt for me. It started with a kiss that got me emotional, like as in tears rolling down my face, and that was the first kiss. So, and I just felt really connected to her, and then the experiences afterwards, I had similar experiences, and that's when I realized, like, if you're with someone that you can maybe call like a soulmate or like a twin flame, um, then that's what this is. That's how you can have like a relationship that's perfect. Well, not maybe not perfect, but perfect in the sense where you can really let down your guard and you can, you can merge with this person.
Okay, I have a second question. Someone just texted me. Are you currently single and looking?
Other
I was gonna put in I was gonna ask, what's your name again? The host.
Brent?
Brett,
me.
Brett. I was gonna say any topic is fine, but that topic is off limits. So,
Okay, guys, that's off limits. Okay.
but let me tell you why though. I've said this before, but I'll give you in a nutshell. But when I started my channel, my interracial videos, actually it started before I started the channel. I had a lot of threats from people. I had them from Black people. I had them from white people. I learned a lot of stuff about all these different things I didn't know about, like the Kalergi plan or something. I had never heard of it before. So no, I was accused of that. I was accused of being a race traitor, and I mean, it got from really bad to really worse, and I had people threaten me, and I had people threaten my family and loved ones, and I mean, that's when I said, like, I can't allow this. I can't put my loved ones, my family, my friends, if I'm involved with a woman, I can't put them in harm's way because of my work. So, and sometimes I'll say it in passing, or like privately, I'm more flexible that way. But if I publicly do it, sometimes I just say yes because I'm sick and tired of the question. That's no offense to Becca, by the way. It's a valid question. But I have to really, how do you say that? Walk a thin line, or I have to be really, careful with that question and how I answer it. But I will say this: I look forward to the day where I'm comfortable with exposing that part of myself. If it's only for just telling the naysayers, like. Well, I didn't make the sign, but almost. I'm like, this all all the things that you've ever said to me about, that it's just a fetish, or it's just for the money, or it's this or it's that, just to tell them off, basically. But at the same time, I don't really care. I don't care, but I do, or I do, but I don't. It's just after a while, it just gets tiring, when people look at my content and they watch one video out of the 670 that I have now, and they just kind of judge you based on that one
Yeah.
video.
Hey, I had a super chat come up here, and from William Pearson. He says, "What I gather is that men want certain women; they will create exclusive clubs for them." Debunks elite Hollywood parties, modeling agencies, etc. I don't know. Do we create special clubs for the women we want? I don't know how to answer that one. I think we go to where the women that we're interested hang out. Maybe that. Maybe if we're, I don't know, big time businessmen, we might create clubs where certain women like to hang out. But I think as this is common guys, we gravitate to where certain women are that we like to hang out with or want to be with. I just wanted to answer that. I want to just reiterate what Cohen said about threats and stuff, and he's right. I've experienced it too, and you do have to walk a fine line, especially when it's dealing with interracial relationships and stuff. Not a lot of white men do it. They are out there, but when you express that you're attracted to a certain group of women, or you elevate a group of women, and some people have issue with that. So he's right. You got to walk a fine line and stuff, and but I just wanted to put that out there. So if he don't answer certain questions, or I don't, I apologize, but that's the reason. And the reason is we kind of try to keep the interracial thing positive and not go so negative, because people misconstrue stuff, and it could, possibly put people in danger. But yes, sir, Cohen.
Can I just interject one thing?
Yeah.
The most common cause for this issue is really, and I'm not saying that anyone in the chat who asked this question is doing that, but the most common thing that I encounter is that that people project. They like, for example, a better example I can give you is one that I told my friend the other day for my other channel. I talk there about women who are, quote unquote, overweight. And sometimes I get people who have lost someone to diabetes, and then they just looking to vent or looking to project their anger onto an unsuspecting individual like me. And they go on YouTube and they type in fat admirer, and that's technically what I am, although it's a misnomer term for me. And then they start cussing me out and on my videos in my comment section. Now that the same thing happens with interracial dating. There's people that believe in this Kalergi plan kind of thing, where they're trying to dissolve the races or make everyone white or something. I don't even know. But then I'm being accused of that as being an agent of the Kalergi plan, and and people that call you or like you must hate your mother or something. I mean, I know black women or black men get that, but white men get it too. And I can't think of the amount of different things that I've been thrown at me, and like like a couple of years ago, my hair was a little longer than this. It was, and you see here's kind of like a bald spot. So I started looking apparently like some kind of serial killer or something. And then people started saying, "Oh, he looks like a guy that has 5 black women in his basement." And people have said some really effed up things to me. There was a woman, a black woman, a couple of years ago who said. Yeah, you look like or no, you act like the type that has walks around with a beheaded black woman. And I'm like, I read that, and I stared at it for like 10 minutes, and it got me emotional. And I was like, how? And I asked her, like, how is it that you can say this to me? Like, what is it about my video or videos that make you feel this way? I'm nothing but respectful about black women. Maybe it's not completely to your liking, but like, where does this come from? And then, if I do my research and I talk to some knowledgeable black women about this, it turns out that a lot of these women they have been SA victims, sexual assault or sexual abuse victims. But if you don't know that, then that's for me. It has been a journey. Like I have had to learn the hard way that a lot of people are damaged, and I mean I've been damaged. I've had a really rough childhood myself, and but I don't project that onto, at least not that I know of, onto other people, especially not public personality. So just quick, the reason why I mention this is because that is the main reason why people attack me, because they have some sort of idea about me based on their past experiences or experiences. Um, you know, that's kind of like double, because experience is always past. So, but based on their past or based on their experiences, and in the past, I would always respond, and but I don't do that anymore nowadays. If it's like a little negative, I just delete it or hide the comment, and if it's like really negative, I just block the person, so I never hear from them again. But it's
Yeah.
very disconcerting.
I would just like to clarify. My friend just thought what you were saying was kind of dreamy, and she was just like, "Oh, please ask him." She didn't want to put it in a chat, so she texted me and said, "Please just ask him. What is he doing?" And I was like, "Okay," but that particular comment came from a place of like, "Oh, I love what you're saying about merging and your ideal of relationships," and that's where that was coming from. So, but yeah, I definitely have seen your videos, and I know exactly the vitriol you're talking about, and I'm so sorry you go through that. It's I've seen it because I watch your shows, and yeah, it's amazing. And I guess one of the saddest things for me is that I've said this before, but how black men often. How do you feel, Cohen, when you hear black men complain that they have the worst experience when it comes to interracial dating, when you have all these experiences of your own?
Hey, did we lose the audio?
No,
Oh, okay.
I mute my microphone when I don't talk, so it doesn't disturb the live stream. I was saying I didn't get the last part of what you said, Becca.
Oh, I said, how do you feel when you hear black men say that they have the worst experiences interracial dating, especially dating white women, when you have all these experiences of your own? How do you feel about that?
Well, honestly, I have never heard black men complain about having bad experiences with white women. And I think that is not an evasive answer, but that's actually the opposite. It's to signify that those relationships are very solid. I don't know how it is in the U.S., but the black men white women relationships that I see here are very very cozy. Or I mean, when you see them walking in public, that is. So I don't know which problems they are alluding to, but I would like to hear it and respond to it.
They allude that white men give them problems for dating white women while
Oh,
they're interracial dating. But since you have all these experiences as a white man dating their women, I just wanted to see, how do you feel about that?
well, I mean, I've had some black men, have looks, but I've never had. At least I can't remember that I've ever had an altercation with a black man. I may have said so in the video, but I don't remember anymore. So, but so that's that side of it. The other side is, I guess, where I know of black men that have had altercations with white men, but like I said, I've never heard of that before. So, does that answer your question, Becca?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Sorry. Yes, it does. I was looking at the questions they're asking you in the chat.
You have a question from Sun Goddess Ari. She wanted to know if you could provide any feedback or suggestions as to what a Black woman can do to attract more white guys that she's interested in. She says she's interested in white guys that are more athletic and masculine. She wants to know how she can attract more white men.
Is that directed towards me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have an initiative coming up that I just it came out of nowhere the other days, and it's both humoristic and very effective. But I can't speak to that right now because I would spoil it. But only one other person knows. But it's probably going to be. I really want to say it, but I'm not going to do that. But I always say to black women in my videos, the best thing that you can do is to open yourself up in any way that you can. That's not specifically what I say, but that's how I kind of package it right now. Because if I say like smile, I might say, well, black women never smile, and that's not what I'm saying. But when you see a white guy, the first thing on many of them on their minds, and it's with me to this day still the same. Like if I want to compliment a black woman, the first thing I think like, oh well, she might just tell me off as in, I'm not into white guys, even though I don't have an intention of asking her out. It's always that, like, are they like, how do they see us? Because the discrimination in my country is not as bad as in the US. And quite frankly, I had to hear it from another black woman in Holland, in where I live, that there actually is quite a bit of discrimination. But even though I don't really think about that too much, there's always still this thing from my childhood where I feel that black people don't like white people. It's there, and that still plays a part in how I approach black women. And I can imagine how other white men, because I do read those stories in the comments. So if you want to basically invite white men into your life, or for lack of a better way to describe that, a white guy may not, or a white man may not have that question on his mind, but you don't know that beforehand. So it's a good idea to open yourself up as good as possible, and a smile is one way to do that. Because if a black woman is not interested in white men, or is not interested in interacting with white men, or with white people for that matter, white women, white people, then she's not going to smile. That's just not, it's not going to happen. And a smile is something that is very easy to do. It can make you shy. I get that myself, but it's easy to do. It's quick. You can do it in passing. You don't have to like stand there and force yourself to smile, but you can do it in passing. And so that's one thing that you can do. The other thing that I always tell Black women is just to have that opening posture, so you don't like no shoulders forward, but just open yourself up. Make sure that you stand in view of this guy and look his direction. And then when you guys make eye contact, then you throw that smile, or you make that smile. And another thing that you can do is, because the most effective way would be to just start a conversation or make a compliment maybe, but that is usually considered as making the first move. You can incentivize him to approach you by just saying something in passing. And let's say he has a nice combination of clothing, right? You could say something about that. Or let's say that his shoelace is untied. You could say that, and then you can say something in addition to that, like, well, I better not walk around like that all day because you're gonna trip. And I mean, something like that will spark, or can spark, a conversation. Now, if he likes that woman, if he likes you, I should say, then rest assured he's gonna make that conversation if on his mind is like, oh, Black women don't like white men, or maybe this Black woman doesn't like white men, because why else would she? Maybe, but then that is confirmed for him not to be the case, because he just has encountered a Black woman that actually established contact with him. So, so those are just a few things. There's a whole bunch of videos that I have on my site or channel about this. I have a playlist also where I talk about different things. Talked about the white man bag kind of thing. It's kind of funny, but it does. I do present it as something that you can actually use. So that's.
Can I add something? Excuse me, Cohen. Can I add something to what you're saying? The smile. What I would say to ladies too, what always would get me is the smile with the eye contact. I think eye contact really. Because you can kind of read people with their eyes, if you smile and that, I don't know, for me, that just, if I get eye contact and a smile, I'm just like, oh, but I just thought I'd throw that in there, but
And someone
anyway.
also mentioned in the comments, Jersey guy mentioned small conversation, small talk also can help. Do you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, communication. Remember that movie review we did, Open, when that Black lady was talking to that white man playing golf, and she was talking to him. I mean, it wasn't like she was throwing herself at him, but she was like talking to him, being polite, nice, and interested in what he was doing, and the conversation just kept going. That's a good way to, get in contact, and you can kind of maybe feel a vibe if the guy's interested in you. I mean, because Black women always say, how do I know he's interested? How do I know, he'll stare at me, he'll smile, but is he just being a nice guy? Because a lot of white guys, we're nice people. I'm nice to people I'm not attracted to, but there's something about that. If I'm interested in someone, or another white guy is, you'll get that vibe, and it won't be just like, hi, how are you doing? Like, just small talk. It'll be more engaging, you might say. But yeah, hey, we're going to have to wrap it up here. We're on a tight schedule and everything, and I want to thank Cohen Naninck for joining us. Sir, thank you. I really enjoyed. You made the show. I mean, a lot of great questions. I've learned some stuff, And I do watch you, Cohen, and I've learned some things, and you know, um, and I know a lot of these ladies have too. And thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling us, your experiences and your observations, and that's how we learn. Black women, we learn from you ladies, when you tell us your experiences, how you think and how you do things, and you can learn that from white guys. And Cohen, he puts it out there. And Cohen, I wish you well, sir, and you're welcome on the show anytime. And if you ever want me to come on your show, I'll do it. But this was a good show, and I think people got a lot out of this. And show Cohen some love. Go to his channel, give him some thumbs up, and like he said. But
I didn't know that you were gonna close so soon, so I thought it was.
Okay. I thought you were ready. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it because no?
I'm sorry. Okay.
This was fine. Not this one. This is me wanting to interlude or interject. So.
Okay. I apologize, guys. Cohen's in the Netherlands. He's 6 hours ahead of Eastern time. So I'm trying, we're trying to make sure, he can do what he needs to do. He's busy and stuff. But yeah, I'm sorry, Cohen. I thought you were ready, but yeah.
How long?
Okay.
How long do you plan on streaming in total? If I'm
well, I was just going to go until you're ready. And
okay.
I stream so long sometimes, and
We've
Well,
had
the plan-
5 hours.
I mean, we went hours before.
Okay.
Yeah, 5
Well,
hours.
the plan was to go to the supermarket in about 10 minutes and then come back after about 20 minutes to get something to eat. So so we can still do that if you want to. Like
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I just
Yeah,
wanted to add something to what was said about the not knowing for sure if a guy's interested. I don't know who said that, but even though you don't know if a guy's, not being sure if a guy's interested or just being nice. That's what I wanted to comment on or add to. The thing is, sometimes a guy doesn't know that he's interested, or he's just simply not interested, but he may become interested. And it's like with physical type too. Like I have a couple of different types, but the most wonderful experiences I've had are with women that are not my type, and then they became my type. So if a woman encounters a white guy and he doesn't respond in a certain way that this woman would like him to respond, or would say, well, now I know he's interested, then by still establishing contact, that might still happen. That's how people meet in precarious situations where, for example, like an accident or something, or let's say there's a black woman at the airport and she can't go home because she missed her flight. She doesn't have money to pay for a ticket. Guy comes in, pays for her. This is how these things go. So, it's not always as, how do you say that, cut and dried or black and white, figuratively speaking. A lot of nice things can come from just, like a person. Yeah, here, a white guy from New Jersey says small talk is a great way to break the ice. But not just breaking the ice, it could actually, prompt a sincere or genuine interest. That's
Yeah.
what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, totally right. We Becca dropped off. Becca, oh, your phone is dying? Okay, Becca's phone's dying, so that's why she dropped off. Yeah. So
Excuse me.
sorry about that. April Rain, looking at. Okay. April, did you have anything to add?
No, no, I'm just looking at Cohen. He's just very easy on the eyes. I just want him to know a lot of the ladies in the chat are just saying, you're easy on the eyes.
Easy on the eyes. It's
Thank
easy
you.
on the eyes, Cohen.
You're making me all blush here. I did take I did tan today for 3 hours, so in the sun, so it's probably not hopefully not noticeable, but yeah. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm just going through these shits. Okay. Hey, I'm going to put the link out there if somebody wants to come in and ask Cohen a question. Now, I can't have 10 people coming up, but if somebody wants to come in, I'll put the link. And I was going to have just a certain panel, but I'll give anybody a chance. If you don't mind, Cohen, is that okay?
Yeah, that was actually that's actually pretty cool. So
okay. The chat is up there. If you guys want to ask Cohen a question, it's up here. You can come on. I'll let you come on and just put that out there. I know I said a certain panel, and that's just because I didn't want, us talking, one person talking a lot. I wanted it to be more about, our special guest here and stuff. And, but.
Can I ask you a question, Brent?
Yes, sir.
There used to be a guy on YouTube, a white guy who was also bald. His name was Wes Murphy. Have you ever heard of him?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, it was he had some really good videos, and he was very funny too. But all his videos are gone. He was like a really funny, like he had this interview with a black woman once, and he sits next to her in the couch, and he starts the interview like this. He throws his arm around her and says, "Now, how long have you had a crush on me?"
Oh.
And stuff like that. And he would have he also worked with Kristin Kerrison, but she also has
okay.
Did you hear about her leaving?
I'm familiar with Kristin Kerrison. Yeah, I watched a lot of her videos, and so he did stuff with her.
Yeah, he did. He did some videos with her.
Okay, maybe I did. It don't ring familiar, but I know Kristin Kerrison. I watch a lot of her videos, and I know her channel's like a channel for women. But I would just watch to get her perspective on things and stuff. And I kind of gravitated to it because seeing a beautiful black woman that's successful talk about how she dates out and stuff, and that was interesting. I kind of gravitated towards that. And but no, I don't know about him, but I will look him up. Is he still on YouTube, or is he?
No, I'll have a look.
No,
he's not on there anymore, but he may have.
I'm hoping Kristin Kerrison comes back. I don't know. I hate the unfortunate thing that happened. That really got me down, because I did watch her, and she seems like a nice woman, pretty successful, and
Yeah.
a bad relationship, it can happen to any of us, and my thoughts and prayers are to her, and I hope she comes back. But anyway, we got a couple people on, Cohen.
I found a clip from him. Can I put it in the chat?
Sure. Yeah.
If you go to 17 seconds in the following clip, you'll see him. He kind of looks like me.
It kind of looks
Well,
like you. You said
yeah, a little bit.
a little bit. Okay.
But
Someone
that's
See,
a
asked in the
well,
chat, someone has
what?
a question for you, Cohen, in the chat. They said if she, as a Black woman, is talking to a white man and he's visibly scared to move things along, even though it's clear he wants to, how would you suggest to handle that type of situation, or what would you suggest she says to him?
Okay, so they're already involved, and he's scared to move on.
She's saying she doesn't say if they're in a relationship. It maybe she can sense that there's some chemistry, but she's sensing that he's visibly hesitant or scared to move things along even though he wants to. She wanted to know what suggestions would you give to that.
How does she know, like, but move on in what sense, like, as in the first kiss, or they've already kissed and they can I see the question, please?
Absolutely. It's from G Child. So G Child, if she said they're talking. They're in the talking stages.
we are talking. Yeah, I see. I see where it says we are talking. What is there a question you're looking for, April? Because
Yeah,
You
I'm
go up
reading
a
that,
few,
actually.
yes, if you go up in the chat a few more, it's right above Amber James's remarks, and she has a comment with some purple heart.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
okay.
I
So
see it. Okay, it's highlighted.
let's see, am I still muted or no? Okay.
No, we hear you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm reaching here because I don't know the exact situation, but if he's scared to move things along, uh, I would, as they would say in the U.S., I would sit his ass down and just talk, and preferably in a place that's calm, like a Starbucks or something, where it's a little quiet, and I mean, there are so many ingrained fears of both sides of the aisle, or how do you say that? Like, black women have these fears, or have fears. White men have fears. Actually, in my upcoming video that I've been pitching for the last 3-4 days, I talk about those fears. Um, it's a video about staring and body language and things like this. Very comprehensive. And one of the things that really keeps rearing its ugly head is where white men are fearful of certain things that can happen. Oh, black women may be different. I've never been with a black woman before. How do I communicate that to her? Is it going to be a turnoff? Well, then I might as well not say it, because now I have this nice, cozy atmosphere and I'm going to ruin it. If I do this, how am I going to tell my friends if that's an issue for him? So that's what makes answering this kind of difficult, because I don't know. Like, if G Child could be more specific with regards to, she did say here, let's see, where is it?
She also said they already kissed.
Okay, yeah. So what is it specifically that he doesn't want to do? Can you specify that? Because moving along can mean different things for different people. I'm leaving in
Hey, let's.
4 minutes. 4 minutes. I'm leaving. So
Okay. Hey, can
I'll
we
come
get these?
back.
Okay. Yeah. Can we get these ladies that just jumped on? Sun Goddess Ari and Ms. Know It All. Can you guys do a question real quick? Because Cohen's got to step out here real quick.
Hello.
So,
Hi.
Oh, go ahead, sweetie.
Do
all
you
right.
guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, just make it quick, and he'll come back. He's got to step out and get something to eat and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, um,
Okay.
I don't know what to ask. I'm thinking about it.
Oh, can I
Okay.
ask a quick question then? Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go and some guy sorry, we'll let you when you think about it. Go ahead, Ms. Noto.
Hi, Cohen. Hi. Really quickly, I had asked earlier in the chat, but it was never brought to your attention. I don't think I put it to you. But my question to you is, how do you? Everything you said is great, and I know you can't speak for every man. What is the? How do you feel about women? If you're a black woman, you get to know, or maybe work with, or you see a white guy that you're interested in, but you don't want to be too forward, or you don't want to come off masculine, or um oversexed, like some of the stereotypes or whatever. What do you think, how do you feel, first of all, if a woman would say, hey, wow, want to start that conversation, smile and start that conversation? Do you think it's being too forward, or aggressive for far as a woman's standpoint, as far as a woman? Or do you think other men think that way? Like, if she kind of make the first move? I'm sorry, I'm stumbling, but I'm kind of old school, so I don't usually approach guys, but I have attempted in the past. But I just, basically the question is, how do you feel about black women being just a little more assertive and forward and going after what they want, specifically with trying to date white men?
Yeah. Well, I want to clarify why I was smiling. But I have to communicate it properly, because I don't want to make you feel like I'm thinking that you're projecting those stereotypes onto me. That's not what I'm saying. But I smile because I thought, like, well, she mentions like too aggressive, too assertive, or women taking initiative, not being. You mentioned a couple of things, and I thought, are those the kind of things that are being said about black women? And that's the first thing that I would say to you is, like, get that out of your system, because you, first of all, you can't control what any man will think. With me the same. Like, when I make videos in the past, I would come up first like, oh, I don't mean this, I don't mean that, and it just overcomplicates things. Overcomplicates things for my viewers. If you ask me this question, it you overcomplicate it for yourself. Like, it's like you already have. Again, I'm not trying to judge you, but you already have a couple of scenarios in your mind because of things that you've heard. And uh, the first thing I would say is, try to let go of that. I know it's difficult, but because I have them too. That those would be the fears that I talked about earlier. But me personally, I have no problem with assertive black women. I always talk about the assertiveness in my videos. Uh, the other white men that I've talked to over the years, that's, after all, why they date black women. That's something they like. They've. I'm not saying that white women are passive in general, but that's how they have communicated to me, that either they're passive or black women are just more assertive. Like I'm going to use the bedroom example, right? And I prefer not to use that, but it's the best example I can think of. A lot of white men who compare the bedroom experiences with their women from their own race, is they always say, like, I like a woman who shows a little bit of fire in the bedroom. And it's that same fire that they like outside of the bedroom as well. So no, it's not only not a problem if a black woman does that. It's something that is wanted in a lot of cases. I'm not going to say all cases, of course, but I love it when a black woman does that. Hey, I'm not going to lie. Like, I like to be the man in a relationship. I like to be the man when I'm dating a woman, getting to know her. But I love it when a black woman or a woman in general takes the lead, or not necessarily the lead, but the lead as in being a little assertive, showing a little bit initiative, or taking that step to provide me to take the initiative. So basically, create that atmosphere. So no, that's, for me, it's not a problem, and I know for a lot of guys it's not.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to add to that, and then I really have to go, but I'll come back. I wanted to add to that, and it's no shade towards black men. It sucks that I even have to say that, but because I always praise black men, but I know that there's a contingent of black men who put these kind of these stereotypes out there that black women are aggressive, or they're too assertive, or they're too this, too that, too loud, too whatever. And that is what creates these fear within black women, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah. So, and again, that's no shade towards black men. I always say, it's a small group of guys that do that. It may still be millions of guys, but relatively speaking to the entire demographic of black men, I think it's just a small portion. But it's 9:39 p.m. here. It closes at 10 o'clock, so I have to go. But I'll leave my computer on, and I'll come back after about 20 minutes. I'll be back here. So, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the question.
Bye, Cohen.
I was muted. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll just keep it going till
He couldn't put his avatar out while he was gone.
well, he could have, but that's all right.
April, you a mess.
What?
Yeah,
Can you put your avatar up? Can you put your avatar up while you're gone?
I'll leave it on, but I'll
It don't matter, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
You're so funny, April. I cannot.
April's crazy. We love
This is
you.
my
April.
first time hearing. This is my first time learning about Cohen, so I'm gonna definitely subscribe to his channel.
Yes,
Thank you all for introducing me to him. I've never
Yeah,
heard of him,
he's
but
got a
thank
lot of
you.
stuff to put out, don't he?
I'm subscribed to him. I've watched his channel before I ever knew about Brent's, and I definitely watched his channel. He has quite a few videos, so you should subscribe if you can.
Yeah, he's got like thousands of videos. I got some of my ideas for my videos when I first started, like when he says the 5 things black women like or do. I started thinking, okay, well, I did a few videos he puts out there is actually truth. I mean, now the bed stuff, I don't get into that, but how we act towards black women, why we're reserved when we stare. What does that mean? A lot of times, and he said it, that we're reserved, but we aren't interested. It's not like, most of the time it's like admiring black women. I've stared, and it's not a creepy stare like I'm fantasized. It's like, man, she's beautiful. What? I wonder if I can approach her. I wonder how she'd react if I, tried to talk to her. And, we have that fear because of the stigma. And,
Yes.
And that's just a psychological thing. Really, men and women are attracted to each other regardless of races that they are. I mean, and we have preferences, and a lot of guys have preferences of women that don't look like them. And you don't just find beauty in something that looks like you, something that looks different,
I agree.
And,
I thought of a good question.
Okay.
So my question was, do white guys like it when do white guys like receiving compliments by black women?
Almost.
And I once complimented. I mean, I've been complimenting a lot of white guys. Like, I once complimented the white guy on his voice and his outfit and the way he dresses and stuff. I like giving out compliments.
That does work, Ari. It does.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Like you wouldn't believe. A black woman says, and when a black woman, and I remember when black women say something nice to me, I do not forget it. I embrace it to the point that I always remember it. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 18, a black woman actually came up to me and told me I look good, and that's a rare thing for a woman to, just approach a man. And I was a teenager, but I appreciated that so much. I mean, you don't know. I mean, it was like, I actually thank God for that. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yes, white men, we do appreciate it from black women. More so than you know. More so than a white woman, because in our minds, we believe you guys really ain't interested in us. That most of you would rather be with black men, be with your own race. So when you do give us a compliment, it it's very nice and it's very appreciated. And like I said, I get a nice compliment. I don't forget it. I embrace it, and it makes my day. So yeah, um, it means a lot. It really does.
Yeah,
And
and I especially am a fan of how white guys dress and how their voices sound. So yeah, like I just find a lot of things about white guys attractive. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to compliment them. But some people see it as like to like like some people's like they just think like the guy should be the one pursuing the girl and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, most people think that, and I think that too. That a man should pursue the woman, but sometimes, I mean, interracially, sometimes white guys won't because we feel they don't have a chance, and that's most of the problem. Really, is they
Mm-hmm.
don't think you're even going to have the time or day.
And
And I will say this: I think that there's a number of black women that shut down white guys that they're actually attracted to, but just of the fear of maybe the stigma and what society will think or their family will think.
I agree with you, Brent, with that.
They want to be with, but then they don't. They don't know if it's right. They're uh, kind of in a conflict, you might say. I think a lot of black women are. Well, black women have told me that they said, I was interested in this guy, but as a white guy, and I was younger and I thought it wouldn't work, and I just kicked him to the curb, and I didn't really want to. And I think that happens a lot.
I agree. It does.
And I think white guys do it too. They'll not pursue her. They want to, but then they're afraid to, so they just don't. That's a big thing that's happening. I think somebody's got some background noise somewhere.
Yeah, I can hear it too. Like I'm not sure what it is.
I'm muted, so it's not me.
I don't think it's me either. I have nothing going on.
Maybe it's background. Maybe my phone's too close to the computer.
I don't know. Maybe it's my cell phone. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sometimes get that feedback. But yeah, I mean, I think us as white men and black women, we don't get together because we're too reserved and we're too cautious. But I will say this. That when we do get together interracially, we're the strongest couple. We're like the power couple. And I've always known that to be true. When I married my wife, I knew it was going to last, even though there were people that doubted it. We just lost oh, there she goes. What was I saying? Yeah, when we get together, we're like the power couple. And I knew my marriage was going to last. And some people didn't think it would. And all the naysayers, their marriages went down the tube, but I'm still married, still happy. And I think that's why interracial marriages last longer with black women and white men, because when we get to that point, we're all in. And by that point, we don't care what anybody thinks. We're going to live our life.
Brent, can I say something?
Yes.
I have two cousins back in '94 and in '96. They're sisters, and they both married white men, and both of them are still married. And it really is a testament that white men and black women do well together and stand the test of time. So I agree with you wholly on that, definitely. And the young lady Ari, like she said, compliments does work, because I've complimented guys. Like sometimes I just compliment them and I didn't really thought it would go anywhere. And sometimes they would show interest, but sometimes like I was seeing someone or I was dating someone. But I'm gonna start again doing that, like the compliments, but not overdoing it, and you know, just like nice little casual. Because I remember I was in a restaurant and this guy, he had the most amazing eyes, and I just said, you know what, you have the most beautiful eyes. I just had to tell him because and he smiled ear to ear, and he just loved it, and he was like, "Thank you." Everyone tells me my daughter wish she had them, but compliments do help, and you could just do it casually in a friendly way. And I just always have an issue. I think Cohen hit it on the nail when he said sometimes it's in your head when you think, oh, am I being too forward? Is he gonna feel will I make him uncomfortable? So I think, moving forward, shoot your shot. If they're interested, they're interested. If they're not, they're not. I mean, it's just how you do it, I guess. And but
Yeah, and you know what? When you say shoot your shot, you know what? Here's the thing. If you shoot your shot, you can approach, a lady you like or a man, depending on. I would say mostly towards the guys. You can approach a woman, and you don't have to be suave in the way you present yourself. I think the most important thing is you're honest, and she sees the truth, and you compliment her in a nice way. You can tell, like I always tell guys, you can tell her she's beautiful and you're interested in her. She's either going to be interested too or she's not. I mean, it is what it is.
Brent,
Yes.
so you know about sports, right? Or do you only know about hockey?
No, I watch other sports too. Yeah.
I wonder, like, do you know about baseball guys, or you don't know a lot about them?
I don't watch baseball a lot. I'm mostly into hockey or football. I watch basketball. Um,
Oh, because I've been wanting to get with a baseball player lately. Like, I'm seeing like how these people at my school have attracted, like, the baseball players at my school are attractive and have girlfriends, and I see how lucky their girlfriends are. And I noticed that I'm attracted to baseball players now, and I'm starting to get more into baseball. So yeah, and I'm starting to wonder, like, there's not many baseball players with black women, so yeah,
yeah.
hopefully I can attract one.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I mean, I don't really follow the dating with interracial with baseball players. I'm sure they're out there. I mean, you see it a lot in like basketball.
There needs to be more baseball players, like white baseball players with black women.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see that. Yes, but I don't know what the percentage. I'm sure there's some out there that do. Um, yeah, but you say you're attracted to baseball players. Is this like high school or college type that you're talking?
I'm attracted to both, of more so college.
College? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, do you go to college? Are you?
I'm in high school right now, but
Oh,
where
okay.
where I live, it's like the age of consent. I'm 17.
Oh, yeah. You probably want to wait.
Brent, you have a question in the chat for you that someone asked, did you approach Sandy first, or did she approach you first, or did you approach her first?
No, I approached Sandy.
I'm sorry, can anybody that's not speaking, can we mute? Because it's like some background noise.
Yeah, it's like some static or something. I'd like to answer that question. I approached Sandy. I saw her and I went and talked to her. I did the approaching. And she thinks I was pretty smooth in it, but I was nervous and scared and stuttering. But yeah, I was the one that approached, and I got two of you.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Okay, let me delete.
this is the last time I'm gonna be on there because I'm having problems with my stream yards and stuff. If it does like this,
No worries. I hear you fine.
if it does this problem again, then I'm gonna go back in the comment section.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that's happening. But yeah, it does that sometimes. It like kicks you off, and then you have to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does that, and I'm sorry it does that. I got one lady that's been trying to come on since yesterday and still can't. I'm gonna have to email her and see what we can do to fix that. Maybe it's the internet connection. Maybe she needs to go with the phone, or I don't know. But yeah. Oh, what was? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. April, what was that question? Oh, if
The question was asked is, did you approach Sandy first, or did she approach you? What was the first encounter?
I approached her. Yeah, I walked up to her and I talked to her. And
the person in the chat said if you could be as detailed as you could be about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you the whole story. Okay, this is what happened. Okay. I was 23 at the time. And I met my wife at the club, okay? It was see, the weirdest thing is, and I don't do the club thing. Before I was married, I did, but I was at the club with some friends, and it was like I got so intoxicated that I don't even remember half the night. I really don't. But I came out, and what was weird is like everything was crystal clear. It was like I wasn't intoxicated no more. It's like I seen things clearly, and I saw my wife, and well, sadly, she wasn't my wife at the time, but I saw her, and I was like, oh my God. And I was attracted, and I had to go talk to her. And so I walked up to her, and I told her that I was interested in her. And I told her she was beautiful. And then I started stuttering, and I was nervous. And I thought she was going to kick me to the curb because I was just, I had to talk to her, but I wasn't real smooth in it. And, I told her she was beautiful and stuff. And I asked her, and we were talking, and I asked her for a number. She says, no, I'm not going to give you my number. You can give me yours. And I thought, okay, it's done. She's not interested. Because anytime you ask for a number and they say, no, give me yours, that's usually they're not interested. So I was like, okay. So I gave it to her anyway. And she called me back. And, it was all history from there. And, it just, and the crazy thing is I was the first white guy she ever dated. In fact, she wasn't even looking to date a white guy, and maybe that's why she had me give me her number, because she had to think about it. I don't know. But she did call me back, and we hit it off, and 28 years later, we're still married and got kids and grandkids. So, I mean, it was a blessing. But that's how it happened. I approached her. And the funny thing is she used to give her brother a bunch of crap because he dated white women. He was interested in white women. And she'd always tell him, you know what? Why do you date? And he wasn't the best in choosing women that he dated, but he loved white women. He did. And, she didn't want to date white men because she felt that the men would be like the women that he dated. It wasn't that she disliked white men. She just was afraid of them because she's seen a bad example from the women that her brother dated. So, and what's funny about that is when I finally met her family, her brother used to give her a bunch of crap and tease her and stuff. In fact, the first time I saw him, he was like, "Oh," he says, "You're pretty special, bro." And I'm like, okay. He says, "Yeah, you know, what Sandy said about," and she's like, "Shut up, shut up." It was funny, but anyway, and he'd always tell her, "Remember what you said you would never do? Remember?" And she'd always tell him that. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I approached her, and you know,
So,
it's
Mr.
been
Brent, after Miss Sandy, after you gave Mrs. Sandy your number, how many days did it take her to follow up and call you?
it was a few days. It took a while. I figured she wasn't interested. So I just, let it go out of my mind. And when she called, it was like shocking. She's like, "You know who this is?" "No, who is this?" And then she told me, and I was like, "Oh, really?" So I arranged to meet her, and we had our first date. And our first date was like, we went, I met her, we in my neighborhood, we walked, and this was in the middle of the night, we walked around the park and talked, and uh, that's all there was to it, our first date. But we had a good conversation. Then I, met with her again, and then we started dating, and then one thing led to another. And it's funny because when I asked her to marry me, I was like, I need to ask you something. Will you? And she was like, yes, before I said marry me. So it was like, it was neat. It was like me and my wife, we're so much alike. It's not even funny. She's black and I'm white, but gosh, we're like the same religion. We got the same thought process. We're from the same town, same state. So culturally, we're like together. It's like, in fact, sicknesses and diseases, we have the same thing. Like, she's got asthma. I got asthma. Well, I developed mine in the Army, spending too many times in the desert. She was born with hers, but like she has a thyroid problem. I have a thyroid problem. A lot of the stuff that's going on with her is going on with me. It's kind of weird. But it's like, we were meant to be married. It was like when we got married, it just came together so easy. And, we live in our life and it's like it's easy. How can I explain it? And I know it's of God because doors kicked wide open with us. And, and our families, came together too. And that's the beautiful thing in it. And it just, I don't know, I'm blessed. What can I say? I mean, I'm just at awe. I don't know why it was so easy, why it worked so good. We wanted the same things in life. We wanted to be married and have a family. And 5 months from the time I met her, I married her. And it's been a blessing ever since. And we got 3 kids. They're grown up now, but gosh, it's just I've been blessed. What can I say? Do I deserve what I have? No, I don't. There's no way I could deserve this. My wife's much more better than I am, and I'm grateful to have her. And it's been beautiful all the way. Do we have arguments and have problems that other married couples do? Yes, of course we do. But I mean, we get through it because we love each other. And it's. I'm just amazed. I thank God for my wife all the time because I don't deserve her. And if I got what I deserved, I'd be destroyed right now. So, yeah. But anyway, that's.
I'm just shocked when you said you were in the club. I'm like, gee, you
Yeah,
were in the club? You was in the club?
Yeah, well, that was before I was married. And, I was raised traditional and religious and, but before I got married, I had a little bit of wild side, I guess you might say. And, you know, when I graduated high school and I was able to do what I wanted, because my dad kind of was tough on me, but you know, once you became a man, you could do what you want. I kind of went wild for a little bit, but it wasn't for long. I got my head together, met my wife, and you know,
Humbly
and
Complex is asking about your jersey.
my jersey.
Yeah, she's asking. Well, it is a hockey jersey, but she's
Yes,
asking about your jersey.
it's this is the Anaheim Ducks, and it's yeah. Did you want to know what team it was?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it's the Anaheim Ducks. It's one of my favorite ones. I there's 32 teams, and I'm trying to get every jersey for every team. Right now, I got like I think 11 jerseys, and you know I love hockey, and I like the jerseys. They look really nice, and they're thick too. Like in the winter, I could wear this, and it's like a sweatshirt. It's and it's really detailed, real well made. Um, I find hockey jerseys look nicer than football or basketball. They're more expensive because they're more, you know, the material and stuff, and they're, um, you know, more detailed and stuff. But yeah, it's the Anaheim Ducks, and it can't, you know, they created the team from that movie. You remember the Disney movie, The Mighty Ducks?
Yes, yeah.
That's where they got the name, and yeah, it's
When
pretty
is
neat.
when is the NHL season? When is it?
Um, let's see. When I think it's it just ended, so I think it's like fall. Wait, let's see. It starts. Let me see the date. When does the NHL season start?
The Canadiens will face the Maple Leafs on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Okay, there's preseason now, so yeah,
The Predators will face
in the
Panthers
fall.
on September 26th.
Right now the 25th. The Canadians paid the Maple Leafs, so yeah, it starts in the fall. They got preseason going on now. But yeah, and they just the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup this year. I got the jersey, and that took me forever to get it. I guess because they won the Stanley Cup, but it took me over a month. Usually, I'll order one and I'll get one within a week. Sometimes like 2 or 3 days. But anyway, yeah. So it starts the 25th. So if you guys are interested, check out some hockey games. All you got to do is Google it, and it'll give you a breakdown of the schedule. And what I will say too, guys, if you're interested, I'm doing a jersey giveaway here for Christmas. So I'm gonna put some questions out there. I'll put some like interracial questions and some hockey stuff. So I've given out 2 jerseys already, and the one I gave out was the Arizona Coyotes, which was the first one I ever bought. Well, no, that was the second. The first was the Dallas Stars. And then I gave out the Chicago Blackhawks. But if you're interested, enter in that. And anyway, I'm going to have a giveaway around Christmas. Who just jumped off? Was that Sun Goddess?
Miss Know It All.
Oh, Miss Know-It-All. Okay.
Welcome back.
Hey, Cohen. How's it going? What are we having for dinner tonight? Oh, okay. Heartbreakers, huh? I haven't seen that brand. I'll have to take a flight and give me a bag.
Not so appropriate for the topic.
Oh, is it? Okay, heartbreakers, yeah. We don't want to be heartbreakers. I know I've had my heart broken several times. I don't like to break hearts either, but I really don't like mine broken. So yeah, maybe that's not a good topic. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to get into our second. The ladies were asking me where you gone. I was telling my story about how I met my wife and stuff, and our marriage and stuff. And it was they were asking if she approached me or I approached her, which I approached her, and she wouldn't give me her number. She said, "Well, you give me yours instead." And I gave her mine. I thought she wasn't interested, because sometimes you ask a woman for her number and she says, "No, give me yours." That's usually a sign she's kicking you to the curb. But my wife actually called me back, and we were talking. With her, she wasn't even thinking about dating white men. I was the first white man she dated, and we ended up getting married, and we just celebrated in May our 27th wedding anniversary. So it's been over 27 years that we've been married, and I was just talking a little bit about that in our blessing, and I know you promoted one of my videos, and I appreciate that, with me and Sandy, and yeah, I showed that video because a lot of people thought that I was making it up, that I like black women, that I wasn't really married to one, and I told my wife, I says, "You know what? Can you come on? Because people think I'm a fraud, that I'm just making this up to get some views." And she said, "Okay, I'll make this. I'll do this video with you." And she's like, "Well, I'm really not interested in the YouTube thing," but she did it for me. And then she's done a few videos here and there. Every now and then she'll do one with me, and it's awesome. I wish she would come in and do videos with me all the time. I think we'd be a powerful team, but
Hey, Brent.
Yes.
Miss Know-It-All wants you to send her the link again so she can join, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll put it back up there. All right, Miss Know-It-All, let me give you the link. So tell me, Miss Know-It-All, do you know it all? Because I want answers. No. All right, there's the link. You can come on. And all right. Okay, here we go, Miss Know-It-All. Hey.
I'm back.
Yay!
Okay. Good to see
Oh,
you.
hold on. I'm back. Sorry about that. Yes, and I do know it all, and I'm gonna give you the winning lottery numbers as well.
Oh yeah, please do, because I want to retire.
Give me the Powerball. I want the Powerball.
Yeah,
Yes.
you'll see me doing lives over in the Bahamas and stuff.
Oh, you won't see me. I got my own island.
You purchased your own.
It's 20 million. You can buy an island for like 20 million. Like, for real.
Okay, well, I haven't made my first one yet.
Well, obviously you don't need it, Brent. You have happiness, and you're doing well. So you're doing better than most of us.
I'm in an island of happiness. Yeah, I'll
right.
take that. Yeah.
Money's not everything.
No, it's nice to have it every now and then. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I
So
want to
Mr.
welcome.
Cohen is back.
Yeah, I want to welcome Mr. Cohen back. Ladies, if you have questions for Mr. Cohen, and I like to hear him talk because I'm learning some stuff here too, and but that's what I'll do. I'll just have ladies ask you questions, Cohen, if that's okay, if you like to do that, or if there's a topic you want to talk about, we can do that too. You're the guest, so I'll let you whatever you want to do, sir.
So Cohen. So I asked Brent earlier what like guys think about black women complimenting them. I want to know your thoughts.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
what do you think about not white guys. What do you think about black women complimenting white men? Like, would you like it if a black woman complimented you, or would you prefer to like be the one approaching her and pursuing her?
Well, I mean, that would depend if I wanted to compliment her, but sometimes the situation is simply not there. I was in a park training about a month ago, and it was I think there was an older black guy and about a teenage girl, and then there was this black woman about 35, I think. I think it was a daughter of the older man. And I wanted to compliment her, but the energy was too intense. I couldn't do it. And so that would be a good example of me. But that's not your question, but I just thought of that. But I would have loved for her to, compliment. I noticed her looking my direction, but like I wasn't interested in doing anything with her or something. But I just wanted to compliment her, and it would have been nice if she because then I could have, maybe talk a little bit about my channel. I like to do that when when I do compliment women. I like to mention the channel. But in general, I think guys like it if even if you're an alpha male, I mean, it kind of ties into what I said earlier with the assertiveness. Doesn't have to mean that you have to be assertive to compliment a white guy, but I would definitely. I mean, why not? I mean, everyone likes getting compliments. So, but is your question more like do you feel that it's more like making the first move or
Yeah, making the first move. What was the other option?
Sorry?
What was the other option?
I don't. I can't hear make out what you're saying.
I was saying like what, like making the first. You said make the first move, or what was the other option?
Oh, what's the other option?
You said either. You said like you was trying to ask if I was talking about making the first move or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I was asking you if that's how you meant your question, as if do white guys mind it because it's seen as a first move? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think if it is seen as that, then it's still not a problem. I mean, I don't think that guys have. I don't have this code where I have to. Guy has to do it. I mean, if a woman does it, many times I've had women email me, and I happen to be interested in them, and if at the time I was single, I would pursue it, and I wouldn't go like, well, I wish I pursue her because that, not to mention it would just be probably not happen because that woman has seen me in that moment, and if she didn't, like, let's say that you would compliment me, right, and then I'm not going to go like, well, I wish I was the one because I might have not seen you in the first place if it hadn't been for you complimenting me. So because I might have just looked in the other direction in that moment. I don't think guys really think too much about that. But I mean that's speculation on my part. I don't think it's something that bothers guys, but it doesn't bother me for sure. That's for sure.
Okay, so I have two more questions.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on like black women or white men wanting to start like a YouTube channel together?
You mean white man, black woman starting a YouTube channel together?
Yes.
Well, I encourage it. I hope more people will do it. I have dated black women, and in the time where I've had my channel, not. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know I don't. Yeah, I have. So, but I mean, that's a different topic. But it takes two people to want to do videos together, and but I definitely encourage it because it's necessary. It's definitely necessary in the U.S. Not so much here, but the racial divide is a lot larger there, or deeper, or how do you say that, broader. So it's definitely necessary, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like I forgot what I was going to say, but the next question is, what part of Europe do you really recommend Black women should like go to, like visit?
Website you
Especially
mean?
when it comes to like rom- romantic like romantic stuff, and also like
But
alone, traveling alone too. Go for that.
did you mean website, or what did you say?
Like traveling to Europe.
Oh, and then where should they go?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that kind of depends on what. I mean, if you want to meet white guys, I would say the city would be great. If you like nightlife, then you could do that. But I prefer. I mean, myself, I prefer the park. Actually, I've like recently discovered a park. That's where I meet people. And excuse me, hold on a second. I like the park because it's during the daytime. I mean, if you want to approach a woman at nighttime, that's a problem in and of itself in these days. Daytime, and there's no loud music. You can just make a compliment in passing. It's almost always if you do something in passing in a nightclub, it's I think it automatically is seen as a flirt. And sometimes you don't like you're interested in someone, but you don't want to come across that way because that immediately creates this atmosphere or of like, oh, he wants something from me, or oh, maybe she thinks that I want something for her, and I do, I guess, if I approach a woman, but that's not the impression I want to create, and so it creates that kind of like that unforced, casual atmosphere. So I would recommend Black women to either go to festivals where there's a lot of diversity of people, or the city if that's what you like, or nightlife if that's something that you like. Um, let's see. Yeah, I would say those three areas would be. Oh yeah, and of course also hotels. Just staying in a large hotel with, like for example, we have the Van der Valk here. Those are like big hotels that can have like up to 200 rooms, 300, something like that. And they have these huge restaurants, and sometimes they have a disco in there too. And that's a great place to meet people as well. I mean, you see each other in the restaurant, you see each other in the disco. There's trips that you can take during the day, so there's a lot of in and out going. So you meet a lot of people, and you meet them several times during your stay. So
Okay.
yeah. Any other questions?
What do you think is like which European men love Black women the most since you live in Europe?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Which European men in which part of Europe likes Black women the most, like the men over there?
I've heard Italian men like Black women a lot, and Black women seem to like Italian men as well. But yeah, I wouldn't really know. I just know that there's a lot of interracial couples here. Um,
I'd like
yeah,
to find a half Italian, half Puerto Rican guy. That sounds like a cool mix.
um, yeah, you would find them here. I think there's like I'm always surprised at hearing where people are from. So many different places of origin here. I can't really speak for other countries. I haven't traveled in a while, as you know why. Um, but yeah, I was in France, in Paris. Yeah, about 15 years ago. There were a lot of black women there, and there were white men that were looking at them. So I think you would find them all over Europe, really. Like I understand that for people from the U.S., not just black women, but just from people from the U.S., they see Europe as kind of like this continent, compared to the U.S. But the countries are very different from each other, and within the countries, you have different provinces and different cities and stuff, and it's all very diverse. It's all very different. So what goes for my country may not go for Belgium, for example, or for France, or for Spain, or for Germany, or for So, and I haven't traveled in a while, so I can't really answer that question other than what I have.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Any other questions?
I do.
I'll let them talk if they have another question. I've been talking
No,
a
you
lot.
go. You go
Oh,
ahead.
you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, you finish. Just finish.
Okay. So, um, I had another question in mind, but I forgot what I was going to ask.
Okay. Do you know what it's about? Romance, or my personal preferences, or one of my videos, or dating, relationships, discrimination, beauty.
It's about romance again. Wait, actually, no. This is a little bit off topic, but like, wait, no.
You're breaking up, by the way.
Oh, okay. So could interracial couples be friends with other interracial couples? Like, could it work out, or would there be some competition?
I reckon it would. And you mean like as in friends, or more than that? I think we
Oh,
lost.
sorry. Oh, and I was muted. I think she just dropped off. I think
Yeah.
she's having some issues because she keeps getting dropped off and coming back on. I think her connections, something's going on.
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that question. I think so.
What'd you
Yeah.
say? I went off. I'm gonna go back in the comment section because my streamer is really acting up today.
Okay.
So what were you saying?
I don't really like. I mean, I can't really see why that would be a problem. So I guess so.
Well, it's like to be honest, there are like black women that tend to be competitive towards other black women and jealous of other black women. So I'm hoping that interracial couples could be friends with each other and not have to compete as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's just human nature. I've seen that. I've seen that also in parties that I used to attend here, plus size parties. A lot of competition between mostly the women, not so much the men, actually. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's sad. But yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. I hope that will improve, and I think that if couples meet, that it would be different, unless there's like across interest for the other. So the man from one couple interested in being the woman, and and vice versa, and the woman, etc. So
Okay. Hey, Cohen, I had a question. Speaking about I'm getting some feedback here. Somebody, hey, if you guys ain't talking, please mute your mic because we're getting background noise and static. So if you're not actually talking, please mute your mic.
Mine is muted. I don't know what's happening. Could be my cell phone. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're getting some background noise, and it's just like somebody's eating, or it just maybe static.
I don't know. It's not mine. I'm muted.
Okay. Okay, now I'm back. All right. Yeah, I just, oh man, I had a question from Cohen, and I'm losing my train of thought. Oh yeah. I saw in the comment section. Hey, Sun Goddess Ari, I think it's yours. Because everybody's muted. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Okay, it's gone. Sun Goddess Ari, you're getting static, and it's coming from yours. So if you're not asking a question, please mute your mic because there's a lot of static or something's going on. So if you could do that, just mute your mic until you're talking. Okay. Yeah.
I had a question. Sorry.
Okay.
I had a question about biracial kids.
Ari, can you, Brent, Ari, Brent is proceeding with the question, but can you mute yourself?
Yeah.
Because of the background noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're getting yeah, I just had a question for Cohen here. I saw in the chat one of the ladies says that European white men she prefers over American white men. And don't matter to me, but what would you say? Have you said you dated in America, Cohen? Black women and also in Europe? Oh, the headphones? I'm sorry. I think you're muted. You're muted, Cohen.
I've not dated. No, wait, that's not true. I have. I have not dated like a black woman from the U.S., but I have a mixed woman. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. That's why I say black. But
okay.
some. I mean, she was quite dark actually, but she was mixed. So.
Oh, okay.
Like her mother was Latina black, and her father was white. Wait, no, well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, she was mixed. Sorry, what was the question again?
Dating. I just seen a comment. One lady was saying that European white man she prefers over American white men, and I was just wanted your take in that. If you've dated in the United States, which you would prefer? Me, I can't say because I haven't dated European women. It's always been American women. And
I don't. It's the same answer as the previous question. Like I don't really look at black women from one country to be, vastly different. Like I said, there's differences, but different.
Yeah, each person is different. I mean, it depends on the person. I think that's what you're saying. That is for me. I mean, I haven't dated anyone in Europe.
Same for me.
I do find something that's attractive. Black women from Europe that like have a British accent or something. I find that attractive, and maybe it's because something we don't see. I mean, we see white people with that accent in the United States, but we don't see a lot of black women with that, but we see them on on TV and stuff, or when we go to Europe. In fact, I was asking directions from this black lady that had a British accent, and I just found that so attractive. And I was playing dumb, like I didn't understand her, so she would repeat it, so I could just hear her say it again. You know, but I don't know. That just, but I find black women attractive no matter what country they come from, whether it's in America, the UK, from the Caribbean, African, you know, and just, I guess the accents I kind of find attractive because you don't see it all the time, you know. But I mean, yeah, I guess we all have our preferences, but
I mean, you know,
a little different. Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to say something, but it's gonna, like, I have to really be careful how I phrase this, because it's gonna sound fetishy, and I don't want that. So I have there's something I do in my life. It's kind of like a tool. It's I play out these scenarios in my head that are fictitious, or how do you say it, fictitious. And I do that because it's a way for me to get answers to things that I might want to explore. So one of the scenarios I have is that I meet an American, that I'm single, and I meet an American black woman whose family is very much against interracial dating. And it's not like, I'm not saying that I would want to date specifically a black woman for that reason, but I've been interested in the prospect of that because I'm curious about how I would respond in situations, and it's kind of like a way to expand my self-development, if you will. So if I would become interested in, let's say, it's totally hypothetical situation, but let's say I would become interested in, at the same time, right? Or I'd see a black woman from Europe, and then another black woman from the US. And, you know, the one in the US has that specific situation. Let's say I would talk to her, and I would talk to a European woman also. I don't do that anymore, talk to two women at the same time, but let's say I would. And, you know, that would present itself to me. I might, if I like both women equally, then I might want to pursue the American one for that scenario. I know it sounds like really wrong, maybe, but you see, this is why I'm like, I really want to explain this in the way that, because the way I explain it is not actually the way that I mean it. I'm just like, because you asked me the question, like, do you see differences between
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily, but one of the things that I've always admired black women for is their ability to adapt to, you know, situations like this, where you know, their family, for example, is against interracial dating. And like, let me put it this way. I'm very interested in the dynamic of the racial divide being overcomable, basically. And I would like to be in such a situation, or I have liked, or I have envisioned, because that's why I do the thing in my with the scenarios. I have envisioned myself being in a scenario like that. But what I wanted to say is that I wouldn't want to pick a woman specifically for that, even though that's what I said. But it's just like, it's a hypothetical scenario.
Okay.
So
Maybe.
yeah, it's just, I'm having such a hard time doing this. This is why I like to edit my videos, because at
Yeah.
the time I can can create the story that I want to make, and when you're live, you can't do that really. But basically, let me, if I may finish my story. Basically, I've always liked to be in, a dating or a relationship with an American woman, specifically because it would outside. Oh yeah, that's how I want to say it. Outside of just having a genuine interest in her, I would be able to be put in a situation where it would be really difficult for myself, but it would allow me to grow as a person. Does that make sense? Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
Question. Go ahead.
can I say something real quick? No, Cohen, I think I know where you're coming from, and I appreciate that. I, I can't speak for you, but I think what you're saying is you would like the challenge to see how you would handle a difficult situation and possibly make it better.
Yeah, but it's not that I would because it's not that I would specifically choose a black woman for that reason,
No,
but
but
I pitched it in such a way because there's no, like, I couldn't think of any other way to describe a realistic scenario that depicts that specific scenario. So, but like, so it would be a peripheral thing for me. Like it would be like a happenstance. Like, okay, I already like this woman, and then she's from the U.S. and her family doesn't like interracial dating. So that's the only difference I see with American, or how I see American black women differently from, or one of the few, than European women. So for those specific things, because I'm very interested in the racial divide and how to bridge these things, and that's after all why I make my videos. But just as a standalone comment, and I also want to say this to everyone listening: do you see how difficult it is for anybody, much less a white person who wants to get his or her message across? And it's so difficult because there's so many stereotypes, there's so many misconceptions about both white and black people, and that's also what I talk about in my upcoming video. It's so difficult sometimes to just get across what you want to say, and then I feel that part there, it kind of perpetuates that difficulty that is interracial dating and interracial relationships between people, friendships too. It's just sometimes it's really easy, sometimes it's very tough, and this would be a tough example.
yeah, well, the racial divide, sometimes we perceive it much worse than what it is. Um, I mean, there's people against interracial uh, marriages and stuff, but not all people are like that. Like my wife's family, they accepted me in from the get go. And we
I need
didn't really have
to I need to answer something, so
oh, okay,
I'll be right back.
okay,
Okay?
okay, no worries. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I have to. When he comes back on, I'm just gonna say I have to go. That's what I was trying to say. I have to go.
oh, I'm sorry, Becca.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to just. I just didn't want to click off because I was supposed to go at 4:30, and
Oh,
so yeah. But I just didn't want to click off. But yeah, everybody, bye in chat. I have to go. There was a question I got texted about age play. They wanted to ask him about it, and then yeah. So
yeah,
I stayed on, but I have 2 labs and a test to do. So and it's like 5 o'clock, almost 5 o'clock here. So
okay. Well,
hold on, I'm gonna wait till you come back.
uh, he's back. You go ahead.
Hi, okay. Hi, Cohen.
I just 1 second, please.
No problem.
Okay,
Okay. Well, Cohen, it was
I'm all
nice
yours.
to finally see you in person as well as much as we can. Big fan. I actually have to go. I have school and work to do. But I had one last question from a friend who texted me. She wanted to know your opinions on race play. I mean, not race. Oh God, not race play.
Well, you see,
Age play.
you see how easy we say things that we don't mean.
Yes, yes. She said age play because she just texted me. She said age play, not race play. Um, um, one of the reasons why I enjoy your content is because you're not afraid to go there. You're not afraid to go there and be very blunt about it. So, hey, I wanted to leave that and just say, goodbye to you. That was a question that was asked. There's a couple of them who are asking this. You can give me your own personal email. I mean, your own personal. You can chat, via Streamline. A personal answer, Cohen, that I can just give to my friend or the person in the chat.
What can I say now?
If you don't feel comfortable. So
No, but can you explain age play? So I know
age.
exactly.
Okay, in BDSM it's a form of a BDSM. Long story short, where part of it's part of this dub som variant in which you and the person pick ages. Sometimes you can pick ages like an older person and a younger person. That's what it is. And sometimes the person who and it depends on what area sexually in the romantic area.
Yeah.
And
I can. Sorry to cut you off, but that's not for me. I
thank
wouldn't do
God.
it.
Okay, good. Because some people just asked. Because I don't know why she asked, but she was just like, "Are you the age play?" Because you are an older man, and sometimes like younger women, especially the younger women who like you, they wanted to know like, "Hey, if I'm a brat, is he into this sort of thing?" But you answered it, so I'm glad for that. And I'm sorry, the chat is just like lit up with emotions, emojis. But yeah, enjoy your lovely Sunday. Thank you for joining us. I will see you on your channel. Everybody else have a lovely Sunday. I have tons of work to do, so I'll see you when I see you.
All right, Becca, we'll see you. Thanks for coming on.
Bye, Becca. There was a question that just popped up. How I feel about biracial kids being raised separately.
Oh, okay.
My answers, if I may answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to answer it in a way you probably don't like, but I just feel that, and I really say feel because it's how I feel. It's not just how I think, but it's how I feel. Kids shouldn't be raised separately, period. And because I've had the question from women multiple times who were not interested in a relationship with me, would I give them a child, basically? And I've always consistently said no. I said, if that's something that I do, like if I decide to create a child or kid with a woman, or how do you say that, conceive a kid, then both parents have to be a unity, and not friends. No, they have to be a union. They don't have to be married, but they have to be in a relationship that lasts until death do us part, basically, or until the kids are grown. So it doesn't answer the question in the sense that of specifically focusing on the biracial separation, which I think is what you mean, that that maybe the white kid or the mixed kid. No, wait, no, you can't mean that. But my opinion is that kids shouldn't be raised separately. Period. I mean, if there's a divorce, okay, but this is also another reason why I just wouldn't get married with any woman, because I want to know for certain that that is the woman that I want to be for the rest of my life with, and vice versa. So the lady who asked me that question, if that answers your question, then oh, here she is. I think biracial boys should be raised differently than biracial girls because biracial boys have black in them and they are boys.
Mm.
Well, how can biracial girls not have black in them? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird question. When you talk about biracial kids, because I have three of them, I have two daughters and a son. I don't think there's a certain way to raise biracial kids except raising kids. Me and my wife have always taught our kids that you're special. You're not better than anybody, but you're not below anybody either. We're people. I think with biracial kids, in my opinion, you got to just treat them like they're people. Whether they're white kids or black kids or biracial, they're kids. And they want everything that all of us want is to be loved and, to be loved and be accepted and live a happy life. To me, I don't categorize them as biracial kids. They're my kids. You know, they're just a part of me and my wife, through the love we have for each other. Yeah, they got both our DNA and which determines how they look. And with me, with race, I don't look at race as one better than the other. We're just people. We just have different looks. And, the whole world is biracial if you think about it. I mean, I'm a white guy. And Cohen, I know you're from Europe. I don't know if you did DNA tests and stuff, but I have, and I searched my ancestry, and I'm 100% European. But I mean, when I did it, I had percentages from all kinds of different countries in Europe. The majority is Irish and Scottish, English. That's the big. But there's some German, French, Sweden. I mean, it goes all over the place when you do it. And if someone looked at me, they'd say, you're just white. You're one race. But and Africa's the same way. I did, a DNA with my wife, and it was different places in Africa, mostly Western Africa. But, it went, and I don't know how they can do that. But, and in our culture, in our country, we've discriminated against not just black people or, we've discriminated against white people too. I mean, we, in the early days, treated Irish like crap. And I know in Europe they've done that. We treated Europeans like, or not Europeans, Italians like crap. I mean, that's just the evil of society. We've done that. Even within white people, we've dogged each other out. So, I mean, I think we should just, in a perfect world, we get beyond that and just see people for people. But, I mean, we're all come from somewhere. And if you believe biblical scripture, every race of man came from one race. We're all connected. And they're finding out now through DNA that a lot of Chinese got similarities from people in Africa, which is kind of odd because they're so far apart. But I think if we go deeper, we'd find we're
I agree. I would not. Yeah, I would not want to raise my child children separately.
Can I add? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I had a question. It's a little off of what you're talking about, and it may actually. And I believe Akita in the chat has a question, but I'm gonna ask a quick question. I hope it doesn't upset anyone. I wanted to, it's both directed at you, Brent, as well as Cohen. I'm a black woman, but as obviously black women come in different shades. I find often that white men are more attracted to darker skinned women. Now, hear me out. I'm a light caramel woman, and I don't know if that's a factor and why it never really gets. I mean, not never, but I'm not pretty much there. Who they're attracted to? They're more attracted to darker, beautiful, darker complected women. And I'm wondering, are you guys? Because obviously Brent, but if you guys find, is it something about being a more less having admixture in them as a black woman more appealing to you? Finding a black woman with less admixture, meaning less other, obviously if you're a fair skinned black woman, you obviously have other admixtures in them. Is it more appealing to be with a woman who is darker complected to you guys?
I could answer that. Cohen, do you want to answer that first, or you want me to answer it first?
I'll go first. Otherwise, I might forget.
Okay.
And since you're asking, by the way, I hope nobody minds that I'm eating. I'm just really hungry.
Oh no, we don't mind.
I usually don't eat in front of people, so especially not during a live stream. Well, I did actually the other day, but I'll say honestly, I was going to say like I'm going to give the political correct answer, but I like dark-skinned black women a lot. To say like a more than light skin, I like a woman for a woman, and if she was purple and she would look like a black woman or a white woman, but she was just purple, then that would be, if I was attracted to her, I'm attracted to her. So, excuse me. What I'm saying is like I don't have a specific preference for a skin tone or a shade. But you know what? There's happen to be a lot of dark-skinned black women where I live, and so I see them a lot. But I've had not had, but as in possession. But I've had as in seen a lot of light-skinned black women throughout the years as well. And then there's women that I've been attracted to as well from light-skinned black women. So I don't have a how do you say that, propensity or preference towards it. Just it happens on the situation. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is that if I meet a light-skinned black woman that I'm attracted to, I'm not going to say like, oh well, she's not dark enough, because I'm attracted to the woman first and foremost. And I say the same thing with regards to black women in general. I'm not attracted to them because they are black or because they're black women, but I'm attracted to them because they're a woman I'm interested in who happens to be black. But sure, there's different features that I'm attracted to in black women. I've recently mentioned those in the preferences video. So, but yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. But yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. Hey, I had a question, Kenda Reyes. I did not get your question. I'm sorry. I'm focused on what Cohen said.
Here it is, Brent. Here it is. She asked Cohen, what specific advice would you give to white men who are receiving opposition from family and friends for their dating choices in black women?
Oh, that's an easy one. I would say, ask yourself who you're dating, that woman or your family.
Bingo.
Outstanding.
Exactly.
You hit it right there. Oh man,
because you can also say like, well, and this person might deflect that question back at me and say, well, that's a very, you're oversimplifying it. But I would say no, because that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And if they would then say, well, what is more important to you, your family or your girlfriend? Then I would say, well, then you have to make a choice. Listen, if your family pitches this to you in such a way that it has to be a choice between them and your girlfriend, that's wrong. Listen, I'm going to tell you something now that I don't think I've ever said publicly before. I have been at odds with my family. I'm not going to say like which specific members of my family, whether it's my siblings or my parents or whatever, or nephews or nieces, but I have had for a period of 9 months no contact with my family because of the dispute I had. It was something in the past. It was not to do with Black women or with my dating preferences or dating in general. But I am the kind of person that if you force me to deviate from my core beliefs just because of your beliefs, then you don't respect me as a person and you disrespect me as a son. And I as we say here, I held my foot stiff. It doesn't translate, but it basically means that you stick to what you stick to what you believe in, basically. And eventually they came around and they said, we apologize and you're right. So, and I feel that feel that every guy who is being put to the choice, whether it's their family or their girlfriend, that they simply cannot. I mean, it's racist. That there's no other way to say it. It's racist. So, that's what I would say. If they're making this about having to make a choice, which is what they're doing, then that's what I would say to them. Choose what you want, because it's not whether your family is more important or no. It's you have to reverse this and say, listen, I am not the problem. My family is the problem. So fix it. I don't have to fix anything as a guy. It's the family where the problem is. And I would advise the guy to go for a woman. If that means that the family abandons him, then that's their choice. It's not his choice. Because you see, this is what people, and especially narcissists, do this. Something that I get accused of sometimes too, which I don't really understand. But this is what people do. They turn that shit around on you. Excuse my English, but they turn it around on you, making you the person to be at fault here, while it is in fact them not being able to stomach their dating preferences or whatever it is that is at fault here, according to them. So, sorry, get a little fired up over that. So, but
no worries, that was good stuff.
Can I say something really quickly? 2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I have a lot of relatives that have interracial dating, and I realize people, they always have their strong opinions and they won't speak to you, but eventually they come around. And I think I said it in the chat. They eventually come around, and they, especially when children are brought into it, family members, whomever have the issues, usually come around. Sometimes, and he hit it on the nail, Cohen. It's their problem. He's dating the woman, not the family, her family or his family. So, but I think what I've witnessed is that they come around eventually.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, I just want to say, guys, when you're asking questions in the chat, I'm sorry, I'm not real good at following questions, and I'm getting kind of sidetracked trying to see what people are asking, and I'm trying to listen to Cohen. And so if I don't get to you, I apologize. I'm just trying to multitask with this stuff, and I'm a guy with a one-track mind. But anyway, I just wanted to answer that question about dark skin, light skin, how what I've noticed, and I don't know if this to be true, but I've noticed like a lot of black guys like light-skinned women. I've heard that a lot. And I've heard white guys like dark-skinned women. I heard that too. And maybe that's true. I mean, everybody has their own preference, but for me, I've been in love with black women since I was a boy. And I've told you guys the story many times in videos and live streams. I never had a preference from light or dark skin, and I never even really thought about it. When I was getting ready to marry my wife, one of my friends, black friend, kind of made a joke that how I'm in the black women, I go all the way because my wife's dark dark complected, and I didn't really get. It just confused me because I was like, what are you saying? My grandmother made the comment that my wife was dark complected. She grew up in the 1940s, back when segregation was going on. So I understood where she was coming from. I didn't agree with it, of course not, but I knew where she was going. But my friend, he was black and as dark as my wife, made that joke or put that out there, and it just confused me. It blew my mind because when I looked at black women, and maybe it's a psychological thing, maybe it's a societal thing. When I looked at black women, I saw black women. I didn't even think about the skin tone. I didn't even realize my wife's dark complexion. I didn't think of it like that. I knew she's black, and I knew I love her, and I never really had a preference when it comes to skin tone. I never even thought about skin tone, and it's just weird to me. I mean, I think about it when you point it out to me. I was like, okay, yeah, she's darker than another woman. So what? I mean, I never had a preference either way when it comes to that. Of course, my wife is my preference, so she's dark, so that's my preference. But you know what I'm saying? When I was dating, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for the light skin, dark skin. And listen to my mother-in-law talk. She's 86 years old, and she tells me that even in the black community, they treated them different because of their skin tone. I didn't really realize that till I was told that. And I studied history, and yes, they were like that. They're still like that today. Why? I don't know. I don't think it's a problem to have a preference. I think it's a problem to think someone's superior. Like, I prefer black women, but I don't think one group of people is superior to the other. By no means. I just feel comfortable with a certain group. Black women, I find them beautiful. I find I'm more comfortable around them. And that's not to put nobody down. It is what it is. But with that thing, I've never had a dark or light skin preference. Some people do, and I think that's okay as long as you don't put the other group down. As long as you're comfortable with who you're comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, we're all people, and we're not measured by, our value ain't measured by what we look like, our DNA. It's measured about our character, the choices we make in life, the way we treat people. That's what makes us valuable or not, But I just wanted to say that I don't have a preference. I never did I had a preference for black women because I've had a positive experience. And I've told you guys since I was a boy with, my babysitter, she's a black lady and really nice to me. And I've seen black women grown up in church and how they've conducted themselves and how beautiful they are. And I fell in love with that. And, that's why I'm with my wife today. But I don't think anybody's superior to the other person. I know sometimes us as people, we get in our groups and think we're somehow right and the other one's wrong and we're somehow a little bit better. That ain't true. We're all people. And, you're measured about your choices in life. You're measured by how you treat others. That's what value is. Not what you look like. That's just the outside surface. But anyway,
you have another question. It's from Humbly Complex. She's addressing to any of the men in the chat as well as on the panel. She's asking, do you feel it's a challenge to be emotionally available in an interracial relationship, or do you often find yourself emotionally unavailable?
I would say with me, I'm going to take this on. Sorry, Cole, I just have to answer this. When it comes to emotional interracially, us as men ain't as emotional as women, but everybody's emotional. I don't care if you're the strongest man or you know, the most feminine woman. We all got emotions. We're human. With black women, I do have more emotions. Why? Because I have love towards black women. I find them to be more spiritual. My wife expresses her feelings to me, and because I love her the way I do have emotions, and she can get my emotions going just by telling me she loves me, and you know, just hugs me at night. And you know, I don't find it hard to express my emotions interracially with my wife. But I mean, I don't want to come around crying all the time in emotions, but I don't have a problem sharing my emotions with my wife. Of course not. It just, I love her so much, it comes out. And I'm so grateful to have my wife that emotions do come out. So I don't find it hard. When you love somebody as deep as I love my wife, you're going to be emotional. It's going to hit you hard emotionally. It's a spiritual thing that it's when me with my love with my wife is like a love from God. And I always said that I know there's a God and God loves me because of my wife. My wife is proof that there's a God and God loves me. I've said that and I believe it. I'm not just saying that. So yeah, I my emotions come out hard. And the thing of it is, in my everyday life, I'm not really an emotional guy. But with my wife, I am, because there's so much love there. There's so much I'm grateful for having. So I mean, wow. I mean, so does that answer the question? uh, did I answer it or did I go off topic? But okay. So yeah, I don't have problems with expressing my emotions with my wife. Was that the question, or did I just go off into something?
No, you
So,
answered the question. You answered the question.
yeah, sometimes I get in my emotion, and I'm emotional around my wife because I have so much love for my wife, and I respect her. People tell me I put my wife on such a big pedestal, but you know what I say to them? That pedestal is not big enough. And my wife's been with me from the ups and downs, when I was soaring high and doing good, to when the rug was ripped out of me and things weren't so good. She's been there through thick and thin, and I'm blessed to have her. And you know, but anyway, yeah, emotion. That's not a problem with me and my wife, and it's because I love her so much. And I probably do get more emotional than I normally would around my wife. But anyway, okay. So is it Cohen's turn? Did I get so winded? Looks like Cohen's making a plate. Uh, all right. Hey, Cohen. Sorry I got long-winded. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. Do you want me to answer the question, or was it?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, sure. Sorry about that. I got talking about emotions. I got emotional. Okay.
All right, just give me a second.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. What was the question, Amy? Or not Amy? Gosh, dang. What was the question, April?
Let me go back to I want to quote accurately. She wanted to know, when you're dating a Black woman, do you feel if you're emotionally available or if you're emotionally unavailable when in a relationship?
Specifically with a Black
This
woman?
is the question. This is specific. She said, do you feel it's a challenge to be emotionally available in an interracial relationship, or do you often find yourself emotionally unavailable?
Okay, now I've never been in a relationship with a black woman before that lasted longer than a week, so I would have liked that, but that's just not my experience. So I have to be honest about that first and foremost. What the? Hold on a second. No, it's okay. I was afraid I was frying my laptop instead of the hamburgers I'm trying to do here. I don't think I really understand the question, because why would it be different with a black woman versus a non-black woman? Why would I be less emotionally available with a black woman versus? Could you answer that question?
She would have to type it in the chat.
Can you do that, please, for me? Because I just washed my hands.
Oh, who made that comment, April? And I'll highlight it.
Let me go back. It was it Humbly Complex? Humbly Complex. I'm going back.
Oh, I found it. There it is. It's highlighted. I'll leave it highlighted. You see it on
But
the screen.
while we're waiting for her, someone else had a question.
Oh wait, can I hold on a second? Because there was a lady that asked me a question who had a very complex. She's been waiting this entire time, so
Okay.
I would have to address that first.
Okay.
But I don't actually know the. I don't know the question, so if that person could please ask the question again. Is that possible, or?
Who is it? I don't know.
It's Humbly Complex. If she could elaborate on her comment that she wanted answered.
There was another one. I think he's talking about. I don't know what it. And I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I'm just following the questions.
Yeah, Humbly Complex. Cohen is asking if you could type in the chat, because he said he doesn't understand why he wouldn't be emotionally unavailable if he was with a black woman. So he wanted you to just elaborate on why you would feel, elaborate on your question in detail, so he can. I don't. Yeah. And she's saying sure, so she's typing it now. And then Sun Goddess Ari says, do most white men like to spoil women at Cohen?
You. I think what Cohen was saying is he can express his emotions with any group of women, as long as there's a connection. I think that's what he's trying to say. I mean, I'm not speaking for him, but I think that's what he's saying, because he's saying, why would I be just with one group of women like that? So I think as long as there's a connection, he can express himself emotionally. I think that's what he was saying. I mean, reading into it, I would say that. Me, I'm all in emotionally with black women, because that's the group of women I've always been attracted to and I've always pursued, and that's who I'm married to. So I can answer that easier, I think.
She said in her past relationship, she realized that who she attracted, they were just emotionally unavailable men. So she was just wondering if it's just men in general.
I would say it depends on the man. I think that's kind of a general statement that men are like that. I mean, maybe most men are. But I'm so in love with my wife that I'm so.
Well, Corey said he believed the answer to her question is it depends based on the level of interest that man has for you. An example, is he marriage minded or is he just playing?
I agree with that statement. That makes perfect sense, because if he wants you as a wife, he's going to be emotionally engaged. He's going to be emotionally there. And if he's just a player trying to have a good time with you, that emotion might not be there. It probably won't be. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And then someone said in the chat, G Child said, any man can spoil a woman if he's interested and he loves her. I concur. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I spoil my wife all the time. You see me wearing these jerseys all the time. They're pretty pricey, but I like them. But you know what? I buy my wife, and she has more of that than I have jerseys, is bags. And I don't know if you got ladies. I know you got your preference when you have your purses, your bags, and stuff. I know she's in the Michael Kors bags. I know that because she always buys them, and I buy them for her. But I like to spoil my wife. Yes, I mean, but I love her, and she don't expect me to spoil her. I just do it. Fix me a sandwich too. Hey, Cohen. Hey, what are we having, buddy? Hey, you gonna make me a sandwich too?
These are vegan chicken burgers.
Vegan chicken burgers? Okay.
Vegan chicken burgers, and I'm just adding mayonnaise and ketchup.
You know what, Cohen? You know what's funny is you kind of remind me of my son in a way. When you talk about vegan and health and all that stuff, because my son, well, he's in the Army, and me, I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'9", but my son is 6'1", and he's solid, and he eats like so healthy, it's not even funny. I mean, when he comes and visits, we have to go to a restaurant that has actual health food. And I mean, he runs like 3 miles a day, and he works out, and he's a big guy. Well, my wife's family is big man. Well, even my side, my brother's 6 foot, and my dad's 5'11". I'm like the little guy. But my son's, he's big, and he's all into health, and he eats all this healthy stuff. In fact, he lectures me on what I eat, but it's just kind of funny. But anyway, I know that's a little.
For health reasons, I just do it for the animals. So
you just do it for the what?
I said I don't do it for health purposes. I do it for the animals.
Oh, for the animals? Okay.
Do you all have Beyond Meat there? Is Beyond Meat in where you are?
We have it, but I don't eat it because there's too much additives in there that are really harmful for you.
What?
Oh, okay. Probably preservatives and stuff. Yeah. I mean,
it's like we have a substitute from a different brand that doesn't have that. So, but it's not as good.
Interesting. Brent, when did you want to do the movie review?
Well, after we finish this live, I think we're going to take a couple-hour break so everybody can eat and kind of take a break, and then we'll come on do a movie review. And what I'll do is I'll have the link posted, the live chat, so people can come on and tell what they got out of the movie. Something new. I got a lot out of that movie, and you know what? You know what's crazy? April is I kind of got emotional with that thing, and it wasn't because of so much me and my wife, but her brother, her brother was teasing her with the white guy and stuff. It reminded me of my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, which he passed a few years ago, and I was close with him, and he was like an actual brother to me, and I seen that, and that kind of got me, because he used to tease my wife about that. I mean, not in a mean way, just in a fun way, because he loved white women, and my wife never dated a white guy to me, so it was like kind of a fun, loving type thing, but that just brought memories, and I'll talk about it in the movie review, but that that area touched me because I was like, wow.
I didn't know if anyone had any last questions for Mr. Cohen or Mr. Brandt. I'm just looking at the chat to see if there are any other questions or feedback.
There's a question from I don't recall her name, but about the biracial kids. I want to address that question.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. I think the biracial kid, is that from Sun Goddess?
Sun Goddess. Mm-hmm.
Was it an older question? I know we were talking about biracial kids.
She wanted to clarify that she felt that they should be raised differently, that biracial boys should be raised differently, not separately. She just said she used the wrong word. But I don't know if she wanted to elaborate on it any further, and if she could type it now.
Yeah, I think she said it and we took it the wrong way.
She just typed she had more questions for Cohen, so I don't know if she wants to, if you want to drop the link to the StreamYard for her to come up and ask so that she doesn't get her wording.
Yeah, let me put the link up here. I think that would be best so we better understand, because sometimes we type stuff and it's not what we really meant, or can mean even the opposite of what we're trying to say.
Right.
Sun Goddess, sorry, I put the link up there. If you want to come up and ask the question, I think that'd be better than the comment section.
And then while we're waiting for Sun Goddess, someone asked Cohen, have you finished or started your book?
I have not started. Well, I started, but you know what? I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you an honest answer. Okay, that I'll just say this, and then hopefully it'll just disappear into the depths of the internet or YouTube. I make my living with YouTube. It's been okay, but it's not where I would like it to be, and that's. I know that's not the question, but let me answer. So what I'm doing right now is I'm building the channel, and I don't want to be rich with it. I don't care what rich is. I just want to be able to provide for myself with the level of things that I want. I'm a minimalist, so I need very little. The area I live now is quite expensive. So all of my effort goes into making videos, and anything else, writing books, even merchandise. A lot of people tell me, like, if you would make more merchandise, you could make more money, but it's about money for sure because it's my job, but at the same time, it's not, because I just want to provide a good product, so to speak. And that's why, like, the book is something peripheral. It's something that I would like to do once I'm settled into that, where, you know, I just do okay for myself. And I'm there almost, but I'm not there quite yet. So the way that my creativity works is that it can only flow if all that other stuff is not on the worrisome horizon, or the horizon of worry, so to speak. So when I came up with the idea for that book, I was full of creativity, full of ideas, and I still have them, but I just don't work on them because, you know, I want to build the channel to where I want it to be. So I didn't just want to give you an answer. I wanted to give you the reasoning behind the decision not to pursue the book at this point.
Okay.
So I hope that. But yeah, it would be a book about the beauty of Black women, and then I do a separate book about dating things. And the book about beauty would be more in a poetic kind of style, where I use a very descriptive words, because that's something that I can't really do in the videos. In the videos, it's very much presentation oriented. You can't really phrase things like you would in a book, for example. So, but that would be kind of the way that I would set up a book like that, like that.
Hey guys.
Hey, Sun Goddess Ari. You had that question about biracial kids, or
Yeah,
I think
I
we
knew it
both
was gonna come
understood
off
what you were saying.
weird.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
oh, I have another question. Cohen, do you like where do you think what's the best place online to meet white men, like on Instagram, dating apps?
I want to address the question first about the biracial kids. Was that
Okay.
yours? Was that yours or?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. So can you repeat the question again?
Ari, remember the question you answered about biracial kids being raised separately or differently?
I didn't
Can
mean
you
separately.
elaborate and reintroduce the question to the panel?
I was trying to say if biracial boys and biracial girls be raised separately. I mean, not separately, differently. Because like it has something to do with gender and stuff. But I'm not trying to be sexist. Don't take it that way. I just think that boys need a bit more discipline because like boys, like I just think like raising boys, like boys can be a handful, you know.
So you're asking me if they should be raised separately, so not as brothers and sisters?
No, differently.
Oh, differently. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have kids of my own, but there's, there's rules, like in schools, how, for example, you have dressing rooms for boys and dressing rooms for girls, and so in that sense, I would raise them. Yeah, you see, this is something I have to speculate about. That's not something that I've really given thought. I've definitely given thought of having children, especially in the last 2-3 years. But I wouldn't know how to answer this because if I'm gonna hypothesize here or speculate, hypothesize here, then it would just come out wrong. I've not thought about this, so I wouldn't know how to address that question. Sorry.
It's fine. I think like boys, like there are a lot of boys that wait, hold up.
Okay, she dropped off. Um, when we get into biracial kids, and I'm experienced with that, I got biracial kids. I just think we raise kids to be kids. I mean, we don't need to put a explanation point on what they are. We need to.
No, but it's not. The question was not so much about race. The question was more about biracial boys versus girls.
How they should be raised.
Yeah. So it was more about the gender than about the race, actually. The way I understood.
Yeah, I think. Well, of course, boys and girls are going to be raised different because we have different roles. I mean, I don't know if there's really a different way to raise biracial kids to same race kids. I don't think there is. I've never tried to raise them differently than my neighbors raise their kids. We just teach them right and wrong, and they know who they are. They know both me and my wife. They know their families. And me and my wife always tried to stress that one is not better than the other. And I don't want them to be, me and my wife never wanted our kids to be pro one side or the other. We didn't want them to be raised as black or white or they have to choose. I don't believe you have to choose nothing. You're the individual that you are. And that's what makes you special. And, if that makes any sense, boys and girls, yeah, we raise them different because we're wired different. Usually, the man provides, the woman supports the man. Now, I mean, there's different opinions on that, but we are different. We're different genders. And, you know, we come together and we complement each other more than tear each other down. But I just think we raise kids like we raise kids. I don't think we need to specify biracial or non-biracial, you might say. And I don't know. I just kind of don't put that in the mix. I don't think there's really a need to. I don't need to explain to my kids they're both. They know they're both. I just tell them you accept people that you love, that love you, that treat you well, and that's your people. It's not race specific. It's loving and character specific. That's what I would say about that. But anyway, I can go all night about that. But yeah.
There's a question here from Akita Reyes, asked about 15 minutes ago. And she says, did Cohen just say he hasn't been with a black woman longer than a week, that I mistakenly hear the wrong thing? No, that's exactly how it's been. So I've not had a relationship. I've wanted to twice, but in both cases, the woman said no. So no, actually, no. The second time it ended because of a fight that I got into with her, like not a physical fight, but it just ended really badly. She left and I never saw her again, which was a misconception, by the way, which was a very stereotypical race issue. No. Well, it was both. Well, it was about what men expect, and then in relation to her being a black woman, basically. Just not that I have to or want to even specify, but just so you have some context. And the first time it happened was with a woman who had just exited a relationship with a Latino guy, and you know, she specifically said to me that she was, she said, I want to sleep with you, and she said that she didn't want a relationship with me. She didn't say like I specifically want to sleep with you, but that's the only thing that she wanted. So. And I was very disappointed because I was feeling butterflies since the first date. But she told me later online that she didn't want a relationship, so I just let it go. And I did want to continue to date her, but also didn't see her again. So, but yeah, those two were in the far past. Like I don't really talk about my current status, as I mentioned earlier, but in the past, that's been my experience. And so the want has been there, but the actual thing happening has not. So, and I feel that, I have to be honest about that. I mean, I could make something up and say, yeah, I've had 2 relationships.
Yeah.
I have, so,
No, we appreciate your honesty. That's really awesome. Yeah, we can make up all kinds of things. And I think a lot of YouTube channels, they make up some stuff.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I honesty is the best policy, no doubt. And
the people say that sometimes about my content when I come up with very detailed stories, but they're actual things that happen. But then when something like this comes along, I'll also be honest about it and say, I just don't have that experience. So I wish I could tell you a story there, but I really can't. Or well, that's the story.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your honesty, and I try to be honest too with my audience. But I mean, this is awesome. I love this. This interaction. We're going on topics of, I mean, anything. and a lot of this stuff has to do with interracial relationships. When we go to colorism, that's a part of it. I mean that's a negative thing. But biracial kids, raising them, that's an issue when you a lot of stuff that has issues don't need to have issues. I think we overcomplicate things, especially when we're interracially dating and marrying. Sometimes add more problems than needs to be there.
Yeah, a good example of that, if I may interject there.
Yeah.
That was what you were saying earlier, because I was agreeing with you, but my mic wasn't open. But when you said the whole thing about dark skin, light skin, how this is a big thing in the Black community, that's not something that's actively on your mind. It's not something that's actively on my mind. It's just, I mean, I'm not gonna go like, oh yeah, she's dark, and then you got 10 shades between that dark and that very light. And I mean, I know it's not that literal in the Black community, but they do have these beliefs that if you're dark, then you're either more black or something, or you're more prone to get a white guy, or if you're light skinned, well, then you're not really black enough, and all these things. And I'm like, really, and I get the same thing with my comments, where women say, well, it's all the dark skin that get the white men, and then there's dark skinned women that say, oh, it's all light skin. And I'm, like, I mean, I talk about Black women in the sense that I need to use that label to describe what I'm seeing and what I'm talking about, obviously. But other than that, every Black woman of every shade, of every ethnicity or country where she's from is a Black woman in my eyes. So I don't distinguish between what is more Black or what is less Black, not Black enough, whether this shade will date white men and that shade can't. Like, I know it's a big thing for in between Black people, but that for me is not. And I know that for you, I just wanted to pitch in there, because it's just not on our minds. It's irrelevant, basically. It's not even something that we contemplate, because, or maybe I should just speak for myself. It's not an issue. It's a non-issue.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cohen, and it never was for me either. I looked at a Black woman as a Black woman. I looked at the Black woman as a beautiful woman. I never measured her skin tone, and I don't understand it. And it's silly to me. I've seen people on YouTube describe the different shades. Like this one lady was saying, yeah, there's mocha, latte, and caramel, and naming off these different shades. And I'm like, wow, you took the time to describe every different shade of a Black woman. I'm just like, wow. I mean, what does that even mean?
I mean, I've talked about it. I've talked about light skin and dark skin. I've in the photos video that I did with these 15 Black women who submitted their photos, I pointed stuff out. But there's what I'm saying is there's not a significance of, or there's not a connection to value, whether it's on the dating market or in the beauty paradigm. For me, there's no connection there. It's just, hey, you're light skin, and well, you're dark skin, and you're somewhere in between. There's no value attached to it. And I think the whole discussion about that is just silly. I think if people would actually verbalize it for themselves as such, that people who do put value on that, as in saying like, well, we're just basically applying value to the different shades, then they would hopefully see the absurdity of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's I can't explain it. I mean, if you actually like a woman that's a little dark or light, and that's what you like, um,
I mean, imagine you saying to me, "Well, Cohen, you're not white enough because, well, yeah, you've got some pigmentation here, and it's or well, you're trying to be black, Cohen, because you're tanning, Cohen, you're trying to be black."
yeah. How silly would that be? What if we came up with, okay, you're
Exactly.
not white enough. You're out in the sun too long. What are you doing? Yeah, no, I get it. It just, to me, it's silly. But I mean, it's an issue. It's just, I never knew it was as big as it was till I married my wife, and I found out, wow. But anyway, uh, we could talk about that a lot, but I mean, it's silly. Number one, you love who you love, and you go with what you love, and light skinned women, dark skinned women, you're all beautiful to me. I never favored one over the other. Some do, and that's them, but I just love the black woman, just how she carries herself, just who she is. I love the big heart they have. I love the spirituality, and I've experienced that, and it's been a blessing to me. And I just don't, whether her tone, that's irrelevant. That's just the DNA thing she has. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, I hope, ladies, that answers your question when we talk about skin tone, how I feel, and you know how Cohen feels about it. And you know what? Most white guys are like us. We really don't dig deep into that. Some do. I mean, some people, that means something to them. But some, it's like, you know what? A black woman's a black woman. She's beautiful whether she's light or dark. That's my position, always has been. I will say this, my wife is the top of the chain, and that's my preference all the way. But anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to go. If anyone has any questions for me, they can ask now. But I'll be leaving within now and 10 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, it's late where you're at. Sorry keeping you up late, Cohen, but we really enjoyed you, and I appreciate you coming on, and I know the channel appreciates you, and I would like to say thank you to the people on your channel that came on. I noticed, and I thank them for coming on, and Cohen, you're always welcome on my channel, and and if you want me to come on yours to have a discussion, I will do that. I'll return the favor.
Yeah.
And where can I want to send you a little gift for coming on. Where can I send something to you?
Well, I hate to ask, but what are you gonna send me?
Okay. I'm a big hockey guy. I love hockey. I don't know if you followed hockey.
No. I follow tongue hockey, but not.
Okay. Well, in the United States, we got the NHL, and it's primarily the United States and Canada, and I'm a big hockey fan. And if you watch my videos, I wear a hockey jersey every video, and I just wanted to send you a jersey as a thank you, and just a memory of the show we had. And
okay, yeah, that's cool. I would like that.
I'd like to send you that, and just as appreciation. And if there's a team you like, let me know.
What?
Mr. Brett, someone humbly asked if you are still writing poems, Cohen.
Yeah, actually, I wrote one for a woman last month, but it just got lost. So, but let me check because I have them on here. Yeah, the last one that I finished is actually it's not such a nice one, but it's called Abuser, and that was the last one that I'd already partly written it, but it was not finished, so I finished it, and it's basically a poem about my abusive past. Well, not me abusing, but being abused. So I finished that, and then the last one that I actually wrote. Let's see. Oh, they're all the same date. Wait. 2020. Yeah. Oh, wait. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah. The last one I wrote was on 14 September. No, that's impossible. Wait. No, February 14, 2021. Yeah, that was, but I don't actively write them anymore. I just need to be in the right kind of mood for it. So, why? Is there like a particular request or?
Humbly Complex just asked, were you still writing your poem? She said that was just her last question that she wanted to ask. She didn't have any. She said, would you be willing to read one of those before you go?
Well, sure. Would you? Do you want me to read the abuser poem? Because it's negative, but it's I think it's one of my best poems ever.
Go for it.
I can read another one. It doesn't matter for me.
She didn't specify which poem. She didn't specify which poem. She said, the chat said, let's hear it.
Okay. All right. So this one's called Abuser. You always shouted that I couldn't, that I shouldn't, and I wouldn't, that I was worthless, deserved less, and be useless. You killed my inner child, my heart of wild, and my loving smile. That robbed me of the light I gleamed, a future dreamed, my world it seemed. You taught me well how to dwell in the living hell. With this pain I felt alone, without a home, stripped to the bone. You even took my screams away, kept help at bay, at a price I'd pay. With a hurt that kept me down, about to drown, yet without a sound. You watched me gasp for air, standing over there, and you didn't care. I sank into the deep, no hope to keep in this fatal leap. You laughed with glee as I drank the sea, gulping death into me. And then darkness and silence and nothing. But you bastard, I swam back up, and I didn't stop, fearless to the top. The water embracing me, whilst facing deep, I set myself free. When I surfaced close to shore, newfound strength galore, and I conquered you and more. In the end, I didn't falter, my strength altered, and your abuse halted. You're no longer in control, as I filled the hole of my emptied soul. And I finished that on February 9 of this year. So that's also the longest.
I'm gonna do the poetry snap. Okay, good.
All right,
Good.
That was awesome.
That was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cohen. Hey, sir, I thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. It's been an honor. And send me an email where I could send you a gift. I want to send you. I'm going to send you one of my jersey. I'm going to send you a nice one, just as a remembrance of this show because I think it was a good show and I enjoyed it. I know the ladies and gentlemen on the live enjoyed it, and it's been fun. And you're always welcome here, sir. And if you want me to come on yours, if you have a panel or you want to do one-on-one, I'm at your disposal. Anyway, this has been a good night. This has been a good day, and I've enjoyed it. And
me too.
you know, I'm a subscriber to you, and I'll continue to follow your channel. And I would say, everybody on the panel, show Cohen some love. You know, watch some of his videos. You know, he's got some good information, and you know, I've learned some stuff, and I've dated Black women from the 80s, and I've been married almost 30 years, and I've learned some stuff. So show him some love, support him, watch his videos. You know, and there's not too many white men going out there, you know, uplifting Black women. There's a lot of white men that love Black women, and there's a lot of videos, but to have a channel on that, and he's got another channel, the Curvy Shrine. Check that out too, and that's also a good channel. You know, just show him some love. And Cohen, I thank you for coming on. I had a good time, and I enjoyed listening to you. And sorry we're keeping you up late. I know over there it's pretty late. But I do appreciate and thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
And can I say,
yeah, go ahead.
And can I say I enjoyed listening to you too? And I was wanting to say something to April. When are you going to take a trip to Holland?
Holland?
I mean, to where Mr. Cohen's at.
Oh my gosh! Bye.
I'm messing with you, girl.
Y'all are being messy. Y'all are so messy.
I'm just messing.
Sorry, Cohen, we're messy over here.
Can I ask you?
Listen, April's a beautiful woman. I would be happy for her.
April is very beautiful, and April is very smart too.
Oh, let me get up off this live and go blush under a rock right now. Let me go be with my forest friends. I'm going in the forest for a couple hours.
April, get your flight, make your flight arrangements, girl.
Oh, geez, you guys. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm joking with you. But Mr. Cohen, that was a pleasure. And this was a wonderful live. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine.
And get some rest and take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Beautiful panel, sir. Take care, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, April.
Brad, or sorry.
Yeah.
Brad, you mentioned the Jersey team. Is that from New Jersey, or because you said you're from New Mexico?
Oh no, a jersey, a hockey jersey, like the uniform.
Oh, okay.
This one. Yeah, I just wanted to send you one, just a token of appreciation and just a little memory.
Yeah, you're in the UFO state.
A what?
You are in the UFO state. A lot of UFO sightings there.
Oh yeah, New Mexico. Yeah, Roswell. You heard about that?
Yeah,
Back in the day.
Roswell's just a cover, or it's just the cover story basically. But Sedona, that's where it happens and stuff. And
yeah, we got a lot of history on that. You know, in New Mexico, there's a lot of open land, a lot of open desert, and they do a lot of testing, military. You know, like you've seen the stealth bombers and the stealth fighters we got today. They were testing that stuff back in the 60s, and people would see that and they would think they're UFOs. They look like UFOs if you've seen them flying.
Yeah, the TR-3B is a triangle that actually has supposedly anti-gravity, and that's tested in New Mexico as well, from what I've heard. Yeah. So I used to be really into that stuff, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and you know, in World War II, the Manhattan Project took place here up in Roswell. Yeah, there's a lot of history. Yeah, but UFO sighting, yeah, I mean, I would get into that stuff, and it's just fun to listen to. But a lot of times they would see, you know, military aircraft that they're experimenting with. They got stuff out right now we don't even know about. Yeah. And, it's been a test site. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff that's been going on. The Roswell thing, that's famous. You ever go down there? Me and my wife are down there a lot. My son-in-law was stationed down there in Alamogordo down south in New Mexico, and we'd go down to Roswell and take their little tours and stuff, and it's just interesting, the stuff that goes on down there. And I'm trying to do, probably next summer I'm going to do more of a highlight of my state, because my state has a lot of neat stuff. I did some videos on white sands, where the sand is just white. It's actually gypsum, but it looks like snow if you took pictures. It's really neat. We got Carlsbad Caverns, if you heard about that cave that just goes deep forever. And I think in the, was it 40s or 50s, the Journey to the Center of the Earth, part of that was filmed there. And it's one of the, wonders of the world. It's really neat. I mean, my state's really neat. It's got a lot of desert, but we got mountains. We got, different. I mean, our elevation where I live in the high desert overlooking the Rio Grande Valley, and I'm probably like 6,000 feet above sea level. And we got mountains all around us. Part of the Rocky Mountains starts in New Mexico. Actually, I think it goes all the way to Mexico, all the way up into Alaska. But there's a lot of neat stuff about my state. People don't realize, because our population's not that much, and it's a real big state. And, growing up with my father, I probably walked across New Mexico a few times, because we'd go hiking in the desert, the mountains, and a lot of neat stuff to see. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the UFO thing's a neat thing. And I want to do, there was one show I wanted to do about the infamous outlaw Billy the Kid down in Lincoln, New Mexico. It's a real tiny town now, but it was like a booming area in New Mexico in the 1800s, and a lot of history here. A lot of different cultures coming together. We got Native Americans, Hispanics from Mexico, and white people, settlers that came here. Mm-hmm. And I'm here because my grandfather was suffering from mustard gas poisoning in World War I. He came out here because it's dry, and but there's a lot of history. Anyway, I could go on, but yeah, it's a beautiful state. If I know you've been to America, I know you talked about Wichita Falls in one of your videos, and that's about 540 miles away from here. It's in the neighboring state of Texas, and Texas is humongous. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful state. I like it because the population's small. Me and my wife, we live in the desert, literally. It's a suburban area. But anyway, I could talk all night about that stuff. But yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm definitely going to have you on as well.
Okay, just let me know, and email me an address where I can send you a gift to.
I will.
And I'll get that sent to you, and I'll just show you appreciation. I thank you for coming on, and all the ladies, they appreciate you, and the guys I have they appreciate you too. And this has been a good discussion. It's been a long one, and Cohen, thank you. It's been an honor, and I'll talk to you soon. But yeah, give me that address. I got a gift I want to send you.
I will. And, all right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. We'll see you, Cohen. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That concludes the show. The special guest I was talking about, Coen Naninck. It's been a pleasure talking to him. I know you've seen him on YouTube, and talking to him for several hours. We've been on it, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Learned a lot. And he seems like a really good guy. And, I like to get with people and network. And Cohen's a much bigger channel than me. And he has, you know, much more knowledge than I do when it comes to this YouTube thing. And I really enjoyed having him on. I've learned a lot. I just, and the ladies on the panel, you did a great job as always. Mods in the chat, thank you for all you do. And this was a good show. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I'm going to close it down. But here in a couple hours, I'm going to say probably about 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and 3 Pacific. Here in a couple hours anyway. I'm going to come back on, and we're going to do our movie review on the movie Something New. And, you know, I'll send the links back out and have the panel. And I'm going to have a jump-on panel if you guys, for those of you guys that want to come on and talk about the movie Something New, please do. Please join me in a couple hours. And I'll be going live. So the times will be 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern. Come on back and we'll do that movie review and close it out with that. And I think we'll just have, after that, have a good restful Sunday. And, you know, what is that, Carolyn? 5 p.m. Pacific. Yes, Carolyn, 5 Pacific. But anyway, 2 hours, come back. You know, we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back and do our movie review. It won't last as long as this live did. You know, it'll be a lot quicker than that. But I want to do that movie review because it's an awesome movie, and a lot of that movie has a lot of true aspects when it comes to interracial marriages and stuff and relationships, and I can attest to that because, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Corey, and good to see you, Corey. Hey, Corey. Hey, I hear you're taking on Bigfoot. Bigfoot needs to be scared, you know, being in the Pacific Northwest, you know. But my money's on you, Corey. I know you can take Bigfoot. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in 2 hours. We'll come on and do that movie review, and we'll have a good time. It's been a great live, you guys. Thank you for joining. Thanks for participating. I want to thank Cohen again. I know he stepped off, but it was a pleasure having him on. And his subscribers, his followers, I would like to thank them too for coming on. And it was a beautiful thing. And that's the visual I get of networking. You know, 2 white guys coming together, lifting up black women. That's a beautiful thing. And needs be more white guys doing that stuff. But anyway, I'll see you guys in 2 hours. See you soon, guys. Don't forget, 2 hours, come on back and we'll do that movie review. And then we'll focus on next week. All right, so see you guys soon. I'll see you in the next live here in a couple hours. All right, have a good one. Get something to eat.